Destiny. to this lovely matchup. You guys are watching Omen Presents Valorant Challenges South Asia, driven by Hyundai, and our styling partner is Philips One Blade. You guys are watching the English stream, and if you want, you can also go ahead and watch the Hindi stream on Loco, where we will be giving away Riot Cash worth 1,000 Valorant points every day. Right now, we've got the players walking out on the stage, and they look stylish as ever.
Yeah, look at Doma too. He's looking good. He's feeling himself, and I love it, right? When you're going to be seeing those smiles on the faces, you can already tell that the players are feeling themselves. They're going to have a great time inside the arena, and that's what we exactly want. It doesn't matter what's going to be the outcome. We want the players to have a good time facing each other, and if you're going to be nervous right beforehand, even the match starts, then the outcome will pretty much be there before the match even starts. So that's what we love. The players are enjoying themselves. They're having smiles on their faces. Eccles is out there as well. As I had a question, who's going to be playing that duelist role? You gave a great answer. Excali is going to be there. High chance that he probably will be, but I also think that there might just be a little bit more experimentations.
I hope there are some experimentations. It's been a while since I've seen this handsome lad on the stage. It feels good to have Amaterasu back, honestly. He was one of the strongest IGLs of the country, and now that he's alongside Eccles, acting probably like the filter or the co-IGL, it would be amazing to watch Velocity in action. This might just show us a whole new level of velocity that we aren't used to seeing. We are always used to seeing Deathmaker lead the charge with his team supporting him from the back lines, and Velocity are also the kind of team that like to switch things up in the mid-round. But with Amaterasu on board, maybe it will be less about Deathmaker go kill and more about them making those mid-round decisions and bamboozling the hell out of their enemies.
Yeah. The coaches as well fist bumping each other, and now finally they're going to be moving it forward and taking their seats. Ladies and gentlemen, soon enough we're going to move on forward towards the map select. This is what's going to break the ice, and it will be breaking a lot of mysteries down, because as I said, for True Rippers to have any chance to defeat a huge giant like VLT, it all gonna come down to the map veto, because so far Icebox has been their kryptonite. Whenever we saw this team go on play on the map of Icebox, they've always been destroyed on the map, so hopefully that's not gonna be the pick from True Rippers. Instead, we're gonna be seeing something else being picked. VLT, they seem quite ready. I'm pretty sure True Rippers are gonna be ready as well.
Let's hope True Rippers are ready for this one. I don't think they're going to pick Icebox. I think that will be something that they will definitely avoid. But I do expect something like an Ascent or a Split to get picked up. I think Velocity have the worst chance of going up against True Rippers on a map like Ascent, because it's such a brawly map. True Rippers can easily close the gap between them and Velocity on a map like Ascent.
Oh, they banned Fracture. Similar ban as the last time. They pretty much banned out Fracture when the last time they faced VLT.
Okay.
But we're seeing Ascent being banned out from VLT, so that's interesting. This was not the ban that VLT made last time. True Rippers instantly go ahead and pick the map of Pearl. They have been looking pretty phenomenal and solid on this map, so it makes a lot of sense too. But what is VLT going to pick as their second map? Because they've got a playing 5 change, and they're going to go ahead and pick Split? Interesting decision. Now I am quite excited for those experimentative plays.
Yeah, at least in Split, those experiments can work a little more than they did in Icebox. And as expected, True Rippers ban it out. It is their weakness. They don't want anything to do with it. It's all down to Velocity, and they will determine what the last map's going to be. Is it going to be Haven or Lotus? Oh, never mind. No Lotus in the mix for us. We're heading to Haven, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like even Velocity don't want to take a risk on Lotus, because even though True Rippers aren't really the strongest team on it, they certainly don't want to give them a chance.
Yeah, I mean, Lotus is one of those new maps, right? You haven't really got a lot of time to practice it out, and considering we are in South Asian region, the meta evolves a little bit slowly over here. People adapt a little bit slow compared to the other regions, so it makes a lot of sense. VLT, they do not want to face the opponents where they want to give them a chance. They might as well try and seal the deal right here and now. Moving on forward towards the agent select. And I really just want to see, my eyes are locked on Amaterasu. What is this man going to go ahead and pick? Doma is going to go with the duelist role. Oh, I called it. I knew it. Doma is going to go ahead and pick that Jet. Eccles with the Fade, and Excali with the Initiator with the name of KO. So it's quite an interesting change up over here inside the playing 5. On the other hand, though, as you can see, pretty much the similar stuff from the opponents. Nothing changed.
Yeah, nothing really has changed on the side of True Rippers, but I am actually quite excited to see Doma on the jet. Kaizen's gonna have a lot of competition in this game. And Kaizen has been one of those young guns, one of those stars that has really showed us what he's capable of. He started off as virtually a nobody in this tournament, but now he's carved out a reputation for himself. If he can take on Doma head on over here, this will propel him to the upper echelons.
Speak about propelling, and we're gonna move on forward towards VLT versus True Rippers. Map 1 begins now, where we're gonna kick things off for the pistol round. VLT on the defending side, and True Rippers on the attack.
Amaterasu hasn't really set up his utility yet, but I guess we'll see him do that. For now, Velocity Gaming already splitting up quite a lot. They're playing their defaults. Something similar can be said about True Rippers as they gear up right outside of B. But in this battle of wits, Velocity Gaming are the ones who will be playing more aggressively, since True Rippers need to stand their ground.
Deployed.
Already starting things off on the lineup, just trying to gather that info. You've got a man like Wimp lurking around in mid as always. They've got the player there. Wimp's job is to catch someone off guard. There are two players approaching him, and Amaterasu, that's his first frag inside VCSA. Because it is his first matchup, his debut matchup. Arguable fallback. And now they slowly and steadily start to creep their way inside the site. Kaizen's found himself all the way in the back elbow. Might just be able to surprise LFF, and that's what exactly happened. Kaizen shuts him down. They've got the B-side control. The spike goes down as well. And now the players are starting to get hurt. Kaizen and Techno soften up, and VLT, they realize there's still a threat lingering around somewhere in the mid, so they do not really want to give the chance away to that.
Here they go. Time to crunch in. You've got one player, Excali, coming in from Blink, and the others all hurtling down from CT. Doa and Excali rack up the kill feed already. It's just down to Ryu. There's no way he can survive this. This is just way too much. Velocity Gaming are like a death train. They just run over their opponents, dismembering them into 1,000 little pieces.
Just out-aiming them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing much can be said there. VLT just easily out-aiming their opponents, moving on forward, proving them unparalleled, at least in the first round. That's what the case is so far. But True Rippers, they've got a lot of talent in them. I'm pretty sure that first round's not going to be their momentum breaker. You still got to break them a lot of those times, and then that's where you can expect maybe True Rippers will sort of start to fumble down. But so far, it's just the first round. Nothing much can be said or capitalized from that. Once again, Velocity Gaming. Excali's going to use the similar type of lineup there towards the main, just to gather any sort of info. Nothing gathered. Now they know there's no presence given away from aim on the A main there. Techno's going to move up towards the arch area. True Rippers, this is their classic strategy. Try and take the arch control, brute force your way in. Alarm bot in the closed lines. Kaizen will be able to dodge that. Teammates helping him out to break it. Now True Rippers with quite an aggressive approach this time. They've managed to get their hands on the site, but so far they haven't really got the stroll yet. True Rippers, on the other hand, they're trying to mix some mind games inside this map.
Yep. Velocity are aware about this one. They deliberately let go of mid-cons. They now leave this area in the capable hands of Eccles. And even when he sees a couple of players, he's just going to fall back without offering them any fights. The only man who can make some difference over here is going to be Wimp, because he's coming in late as a lurker. But there's a turret still marking that angle, so Wimp will be detected. Meanwhile, Excali has opened the floodgates of death. It's uncharacteristic of him to miss these many shots, but Doma helps him out. Techno, stealing away a gun from the dead hands of Velocity members, has gotten himself a fighting chance, but with the spike dropped in no man's land, what can he possibly pull off?
Good question. That's what I'm wondering. He's only got 9 HP to back him up. Next to impossible to pull anything off, and that's what exactly will happen. True Rippers fall down to pieces. Another round in the hands of VLT. It's just the first 2 rounds, but now this is where the true test begins. Vandals and Phantoms on the board. On the other hand, VLT will probably try to play this round off on a bonus. But yeah, good stuff from VLT so far. And a decent amount of damage being dealt out as well from True Rippers. Not bad. They got 2 bodies down. But could have done more, but it's complete fun. It's just an eco. We cannot really expect much. Yeah, Vandals and Phantoms now should give them a little bit of upper edge that they're looking for. And True Rippers, this time they're going to start out heavy towards A main.
Alright. Wow, True Rippers just getting the obs. Velocity Gaming have already pushed out of the main. The alarm bot will stop Velocity's backstab, but they already know that True Rippers are heavy committing towards the A site. And that's exactly why they're letting them go. Nanoswarm does quite a lot of damage to Kaizen, and Amaterasu will finally burn him alive, catching him off guard and sending him to an early grave. But look at how trapped True Rippers are.
Ooh, disrupt. Now they're really starting to gain that map control once again. True Rippers, they're also looking out for those backstabs, and Echo somehow is able to find that kill in that range with only a Spectre in the hand. Vimp is gonna whiff all of his shots. Not a good spray right there, and Wimp unfortunately loses his life as well because the shots were not able to connect in VLT. They rack up True Rippers like it's nothing. What just happened there? A lot of mistakes that were being capitalized by VLT, and I can tell you, Crips, those are the nerves that just happened. He committed for a spray where he shouldn't have.
I guess. I mean, at that point, it's not even much about the spray or the burst or what kind of shots you hit. True Rippers were doomed to fail this round the moment it began. Velocity Gaming are playing an uncharacteristically passive style. They're giving True Rippers a lot of respect wherever they try to hit, but wherever True Rippers aren't present, Velocity Gaming lap up that map control. So in case True Rippers ever decide to fall back and change their mind later on, hit some other site, they will never have that option to do so.
I don't even think so. It's respect they're giving. I just think that Velocity Gaming trust in themselves that much. They know they will retake no matter what. They're just having a lot of confidence. It's not a respect. They're like, all right, they want to go A? Completely fine. Just let them have A. We're going to win the round anyways. That's the amount of confidence so far VLT are showing. But we've got a technical timeout up. 3-0 was the scoreline. True Rippers so far, they're just getting ran through. They're getting steamrolled out of this game so far. But it's just 3-0. They lost the bye round. There's still a lot more rounds to go. Hopefully, True Rippers are going to be able to find that icebreaker, that mystery that VLT are trying to bring on the board. And the only way to catch the players of VLT off guard is, I guess, spread yourself out and put yourself in angles that they're not going to be expecting you to be.
Yeah, I guess that is one way to deal with this problem. And True Rippers so far, they've gone for these fast hits. They haven't really spent too much time trying to fake or trying to bamboozle Velocity Gaming. And even when True Rippers get into these unorthodox positions, like let's say the mid connector, when they get there via A art or when they try to go via B link, Velocity Gaming don't really contest them over there. But the moment True Rippers try to enter the side, that's when they face a world of trouble. So Velocity Gaming opts to let the mid areas be open deliberately, but they make up for it by reinforcing the site stronger than ever.
Operators out for Doma, and this time True Rippers able to kick things off on a good note. But they've got the Vandals in the front to deal with. It's going to be really tough. Some heavy amount of damage being inflicted. 3-on-4 already. Eccles was the man who was found in the close quarters, but Kaizen knows there's an operator just waiting for him to pass on over. Doma gets unchecked. He's inside the elbow region. Kaizen's got no clue, and he's going to get surprised soon enough, and Doma is on his way to peek out. Not a good news for Kaizen. Doma's just waiting in the close quarters. Kaizen's still not going for the check. The barrel's being spotted. On the other side of the map, Aryu's able to find himself a sweet pick, but he will be traded out instantly.
Yeah, Doma picks him up towards B. At the same time, another kill goes down towards A. The spike is all the way in attacking spawn, and Wimp at least can retrieve it. But where's he gonna go? The mid area is quite empty. Unfortunately, both A main and B main are being blocked by Velocity. And he's about to run into a double stack. You've got Doma with the orb, and if that misses, then Amaterasu's there for the backup as well.
Wimp is having a rough time.
Yeah, not just Wimp, his entire team.
At least they're able to grab the opportunities where they get the kill, right? If there's an opportunity to get a kill, at least his teammates are not really, you know, whiffing out those shots. But Wimp so far, I've saw it 3 times where he wasn't really able to grab the kills where he was supposed to. But a timeout from True Rippers. And I think so it's really those nerves now that are starting to hit them against VLT. It's understandable, man. It's VLT you're talking about.
4 rounds in a row. Velocity Gaming looking sharp, and they haven't lost too many members. It's come down to 3v1s, 2v1, so Velocity can continue to keep their members alive as well, and this means that economy now starts to snowball. True Rippers better do something over here. Up until now, True Rippers have tried quite a lot of different styles, but the timing has been more or less the same. Maybe they can variate on that. Maybe that's what will throw True Rippers finally off their balance.
Speak about the balance, and for True Rippers, that's non-existent so far. Pearl is their map. They have been really dominant on this map in the past too, but against VLT, it's just a whole nother thing. Doma's still got the operator in the hands, and this time it's going to go for aggressive peek outside double doors probably. He's not going to be meeting anyone because every single player from True Rippers just want to push out the B main area. It's going to be quite a quick push too. Kaizen's already made his way out. There was a smoke to block off the vision for a while. Kaizen managed to cross all the way on over to the other side. And now True Rippers, they should have a clean stroll, or at least a quick stroll on the site so far. Hellfighter's holding an off angle all the way in the back, and Kaizen will probably dash all the way in the back site.
I can't use that.
Okay. Let's see if this dash actually helped him out. Nobody's contesting them, at least for now. The null command on Disrupt keeps Velocity Gaming at bay. But the moment they try to go for the retake, keep in mind, Eccles already has his Nightfall available. A flash to his Duma. Disrupt is the one who gets that frag, but with the Blade Storm now out of his hands, he's gonna die a very lonely death. His teammates aren't there to back him up just yet. Kaizen's now trapped. He tried to make that aggro play, but now he's stuck on an island. Tries to peek out through the fragment, gets a frag onto the Eccles. But now, how is he gonna go for the retweak? True Rippers are kind of separated. There's very little trading potential on either of these players. But all they need to do is just buy some time. And Wimp does it masterfully.
Finally, Wimp! Able to find those shots. Time when he needed to activate, he activates himself. And I'm pretty sure True Rippers aren't going to be happy about that fact, considering now Wimp is finally able to gather himself after that tactical timeout. They really needed that, especially to catch their breath, to talk themselves out of the situation they found themselves in. Now True Rippers, they finally get the first round on the board. 4-1's the scoreline. VLT, now they'll need to talk to themselves. What exactly went wrong there? It was a quick burst on the B site, but so far VLT, they still have a comfortable economy.
Shutting them down.
Yeah, the economy's been quite comfortable because they have been keeping their players alive in all these rounds they win. So they don't need to keep reinvesting. But this time, True Rippers are going for a really fast A hit. Kaizen's leading the charge. There's no flashes on the back. The flashes are late, and that's why Amatres is able to get that kill for free. But instead of actually planting towards the A side, True Rippers lead the spike towards this region, but send two of their players to take control of Art. Now, this is a good way to make sure Velocity don't flank them. Unfortunately, though, Velocity are now going to be coming in all from Flower as well as Secret. Disrupt goes ahead of this. Double spray down for him.
Good fragment to make sure that the push is going to be denied all the way from Secret. There are still players available in Flower Pot area, and they're going to collide against each other, but this time Amaterasu is the one who comes out on top. It's a 2-on-3 scenario in the favor of True Rippers, and all the three players are all the way on main. So to defend it, indeed, it's going to be a little tough. Doma going for the resurrection on the fallen man, Excali. And at this point in time, the retake is impossible. They don't really have a lot of time left over, so they're just going to go ahead and save this out.
No charges.
Smart move by Velocity. They revive the fallen KO, and this lets them carry an extra gun forward in the round. Keep in mind, their money is now starting to look a little shabby. So every weapon they save is going to be quite impactful.
Oh, yeah.
There was slight mistakes from True Rippers, especially that first frag. The flash was supposed to land before Kaizen dashed in. But hey, as long as Disrupt is able to start mowing people down, it should be great. You also have to appreciate how bold True Rippers were in that situation. They kind of stayed over there, not really respecting the lockdown. They stayed there till the last minute, hoping that they'd be able to break it, but then just scurried back in time.
This time a slow approach from True Rippers. The past two rounds, they were just really aggressive, and now they've brought a huge change in the pace. Opera gets spotted. He knows there's someone pushed up in the close quarters, so Techno's not going to push up anymore. A classic one-on-one strategy for True Rippers. Get the Arc's control in the hand, and that's what they exactly do. Kazan pushing up all the way deep, and now True Rippers, they've managed themselves to just flood on the A site. They found 3 kills, and now on back of that, they will just start a stroll on the side. Eccles still managing to stay alive so far, but he will be shut down eventually. And now it's all down on Matarasu. A clean take.
Yeah, at this point, Velocity will really start to sweat. They lost a lot of their players without being able to trade each other. And True Rippers haven't even taken too much damage. Ayu has taken a little bit of chip damage that probably wasn't even from a bullet. It was probably from stepping on the nanoswarm just for a millisecond. Nice shot by Amaterasu. As long as he can keep getting these kills, he will keep True Rippers' economy humble. And he can't afford to let True Rippers snowball out of control.
And True Rippers really do want this frag, huh? They do not want to let this gun be saved, and yes, they will. True Rippers, they get the man who's trying to make the save possible. And so far, now they're finally able to get the grip back inside the game, Crips.
They've got the grip back in the game. They've also got the lockdown available on Wimp now. Velocity's time to take a timeout. Truth be told, Velocity were looking solid up until now, except in the previous round. It just seemed like their trading was very off. The communication somehow broken down. So they gotta just take a chill pill, regroup.
And especially when True Rippers are really now starting to bring out these variations in attack style, right? And the pacing as well. In those 2 rounds where they won back-to-back, the pace was just completely high on different sides. We saw a quick hit on the B side, then later on a quick hit on the A side. And now we saw a quick take on the arcade. At the start, they waited out a little bit, just played a little bit of mind games, and then they just went for a quick take, a quick burst on arcade. They found 3 kills, and on behalf of that, they also got the entire side available for them. So VLT, they're now starting to be, or at least they're now being played like a fiddle.
Although if there's any team that can bounce back from this, it is Velocity. They have a deep playbook, and they're just gonna flip a page and pick out another one. I wonder if they choose their strats in a similar manner to these puppets. You know, just spin the bottle wherever it lands, go for that strat. Of course, this is just a professional tournament. You wouldn't normally take chances like those. You wouldn't roulette your strats, but if there is something like it, I would love to see it. It's Galley's shop. Even Eccles tries to challenge it again, but he faces way too many Vandals and he realizes it's a smarter choice to fall back. In a situation like this, a 4v4 is also desirable when Velocity are lacking weaponry.
Velocity is like, alright, patience not working out, might as well just go for some aim duels, and it sort of works out, at least at the start. They're able to get a trade happen even though when they're on an eco. Only got sheriffs on the board, so indeed True Rippers now will need to try and respect the opponents considering they've lost their duelist, the space-making agent. And now True Rippers, they're starting to reroute once again. Wimp is going to be on the man who will make the route a little bit late, as always. He's always left out to check the lurk and all that stuff. Matarasu, on the other hand, this switch up between that Killjoy setup is quite interesting. Amaterasu was playing on the A side for quite a while, and then later on now is shifted on over towards the B. So let's see how this switch up is going to work out in their favor. Lockdown invested as well. Amaterasu will definitely have a little pocket for his save.
A tiny pocket, but they're aware about this one. I'm pretty sure the True Rippers will do their best to clear out back halls, and they do it on the back of the Prowler as well as RU peeking out. The fragment does a little bit of damage to disrupt, but doesn't stop the blunt, and that's the Hellfire Institute to start moving in. Nice shot by the Sheriff, but Disrupt instantly trades him out. Node in position of 2 of these players, but they don't know where the third one is. Now that they do, Techno will still deny them. True Rippers are actually giving Velocity a good run for their money.
Yeah, solid round. As I said, they're just varying between the play styles and the sites over and over again. The pacing is something that's catching them off guard. Even though they lost out on this player early off, the trade was just perfectly there from VLT, but still, they were not able to capitalize. I mean, it's just an eco round, so not much can be said behalf of that, but still, True Rippers, with the way they're able to recover from that early dent onto themselves, it's quite impressive.
Okay.
3 more.
Surprisingly, the hunt doesn't get broken.
Now they even get scanned. I mean, this entire take is already given away, huh? Not a good news for them. And Whip is expected to be in arcs. As soon as it peeks out, luckily for him, is going to be able to just slip away unchecked. And LFF finds a kill through the smoke. But that's not going to stop True Rippers to make their entry on the site. They exactly do. And they will also get the spike down.
Oh, once again, the hunt doesn't get broken. This time from Velocity. It reveals where Hellfire is, but the rest of the players still remain a mystery. See that Amatras is trying to move in from Art. He's trying to play on timing, and he gets it. Are you down? That's Art control available now for Velocity. The rest of True Rippers are trapped inside the site. They can't afford to play from A main, otherwise they'll be locked out of the action by this whole Cosmic Divide ultimates. And they're just trying to jiggle around this massive ball. Velocity lure them into a trap and then destroy them.
Oh no, this Cosmic Divide was just brilliant. And because of that, True Rippers couldn't even play for the post plant because their bullets and the vision both were being blocked, so they needed to play on the faces of VLT to even have a chance to take this round in the hand. But keep this thing in mind, they've still got a decent amount of economy, so they can't afford a perfect buy in the upcoming rounds. VLT, the threat isn't gone just yet. It's not neutralized yet. The opponents will have money to buy the guns. This was still a solid round from them.
Yeah, quite a solid round. One would be expecting True Rippers to fall back towards either A long or towards Art, but the Cosmic Divide just keeps them huddled on site in positions where Velocity can roll them down, and this time Doma starting things off in style.
Recovering it.
Ooh. Smokes up. And look at the amount of players that are stacked on the B site. There's 3 players just waiting for this hit. Sort of now, VLT, they're able to recognize this pattern True Rippers are starting to indicate. And that's a good news. True Rippers, on the other hand, slowly and steadily, they make their way towards the site. Angles are being marked as well. And True Rippers, they might just walk into this trap that's being set up for them. There's an alarm bot right next to the smoke. Right next to the Astral Star.
Right, flash in. That's their cue. Doma brave enough to tank the Prowler. Wimp is trying to go in for a flank, but Turret's gonna mark him, and he gets destroyed as well. True Rippers, they are getting shredded over here. Left. Velocity Gaming have turned the site into a mincemeat machine, and anyone who's brave enough to venture in is gonna get wrecked to pieces.
Called it. It's a trap being set up, and now they're finally able to read into this entire pattern that's been showcased so far by True Rippers. And now they're also starting to get ripped apart. This first kill on occasion is where the destruction started to happen. VLT just able to recognize the pattern and able to shut down the players really well. Wimp as always was on the flank, but unfortunately the flank didn't really work out for him. He got sniffed out quite well. There was a turret just situated towards the double doors area. And now Amaterasu's also got his hands on the lockdown, so he can't resist for a side control.
Gazing with the updraft. He tried to do something fancy, hoping he'll be able to get one kill right off the bat. Not gonna happen though. It's sort of a broken buy for True Rippers. They've got the weapons, but some of them have light shields. Gazen's playing on the Blade Storm, so this is the last of their money. They've won 4 rounds in a row, but then lost 2, which kinda takes away all the momentum they had gathered. Meanwhile, True Rippers, as they try to gear up outside of this A site, look at the aggressive positioning from Doma. He's already pushed out B main. And because he doesn't see anybody, it kind of becomes obvious to Velocity Gaming that True Rippers will have no choice but to go A. Now the only question is, will they go in all from A main, or will they flank from Art as well? Kaizen, nutty shot, and he's going for more. The shorty is devastating. God. Even Hellfighter falls. There's a lockdown placed. Will True Rippers respect it? No, they don't. They plant the spike in their faces and then fall back.
And Kaizen's gonna get detained on the site. He's completely fine with that detention. As long as they're able to buy enough amount of time, that's all that's going to matter. Amaterasu knows there's someone in the close quarters detained, but they cannot even push up because the cover fire's there from the back lines. Right click, you initiate it. Nothing found from that. and Kaysen will be taken care of. Excali in the clotheslines, taking those aggressive peeks. But the players are now starting to get softened up. Doma and Excali are quite low. Span comes through, Disrupt able to find the first man. But unfortunately for him, there's 2 more to go, and Disrupt now is starting to activate himself. Operator back in the hands of Doma, but no connections found. A bad news, and VLT will need to fight back.
Last player standing.
Can he get away with the op? He's still in the blast radius, and he just about gets out. Oh man, Velocity Gaming tried so hard to get that round, but Trudipus are actually playing in a very competent way. With an ult command that Excali activated really served no purpose. At that point, Trudipus didn't even have much utility to play with. They were just hoping to win these aim duels, which they did. But you gotta appreciate Kaysen and his love for accuracy. Slices and dices a spray from mid-air to open things up. And then the shorty up close to grief Hellfighter.
I'll find you.
Hard being presented. Really taken care of. True Rippers once again outside A main. Just wandering around. Prowler being utilized in VLT. They will now start to stack up and push together. This push is working out so well. The flash is on the point as well. But Kaysen all by himself, left quite on a low HP, will be taken care of. And True Rippers this time, they just crumble down like a domino effect.
It's all down to RU. No ultimates available. Gravity Ball already used up. At least he's got 3 stars, but he still needs to find 4 enemies. And that too with just 60 seconds on the clock. This is a good setup from Velocity Gaming. They're both ready to intercept him. There's no presence towards Art, but that doesn't really matter, especially when the Captain Eccles is feeling himself. It seemed like a half where True Rippers would actually have a good time, but Velocity still came out on top.
Yeah, solid shot. Look at this push, man. The flashes are so perfect. Look at Techno. This man couldn't see for ages. But yeah, really perfect calculated push. The next Cali is also waiting for the push all the way from the back lines from Art. As expected, it was able to catch Wimp. And Velocity Gaming, now they're really starting to feel themselves, as you mentioned. But True Rippers, they're really taking this series competitive. They're making it sure that this is going to be as close as possible. The first half is quite close, but we don't know what the second half brings to us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back after a short break.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half, where the players are definitely ready, and hopefully you guys are ready as well. The first half has been quite competitive and close, and we're about to find out how stuff is going to look like on the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, here we move on forward. 75 is the scoreline. VLT do have a 2 rounds lead, but you cannot really call that a lead with the cushioning. They need to keep on moving forward in the similar pace that they have been so far, to get a little bit more cushion back in their hands. They won the previous 2 rounds, so the momentum's looking pretty phenomenally with them.
It's also quite refreshing to see Amaterasu in the game, and he's leading the charge for his team, often coming out in those clutch situations. But now that the sides have been switched, Velocity Gaming go for a very fast B link hit. There's only Hellfighter marking B main, and he's getting pushed by almost the entirety of True Rippers. The site's being taken by Velocity. True Rippers, in that attempt to push out of A B main, have lost the opportunity to deny the spike plant. But I guess they'll still be happy with the 5v5 retake scenario. The odds are even.
They indeed are. VLT. Doma's pushed up quite deep, all the way to heavens. He's able to spot out one player, but still nothing much could be done there. True Rippers, they're also being just sucked in the gravity well, and finally now they burst out at the same time. They've got the link control, and they're gonna try to traverse all the way on the side as well. The trades are starting to happen back and forth, and VLT, they get the grip back inside the round. It's a 1-on-2 scenario. Wimp all by himself, just a classic in hand. Not a lot of time left over. Picks up a ghost, but that's gonna be it for him. Eccles will shut him down easily.
Sheesh. These kind of retakes always look dicey now, don't they? It was quite a good approach by True Rippers, and we kind of expected this, didn't we? We knew that True Rippers are the kind of team that will always do something wacky on their pistol rounds, and Velocity Gaming were lucky enough to avoid that entire death train that True Rippers were running from B main. Imagine what would have happened if Velocity, instead of trying to go from B link, all just faced them towards B main. It would have been a 4v4 at the very start of the round.
Ooh. Good flash to nullify the entire push, and True Rippers, that push now just worked out against them. They wanted to push up B main, guns been taken away from their hands, and now, I mean, they didn't really have guns to begin with, but still, they could have tried to put a little dent on the opponent's economy. They've already started off with a man down, and the second man softened up, Argue. Just got a man just closing up from the back lines, flanking up. True. He's gotten rid of the turret, but VLT, they're just going to have a quick stroll and a quick sight execute. True Rippers getting caught off guard. The last two men alive, Techno and Wimp, next to impossible to pull anything off here.
Yeah, the best that they can do is cause some economic damage. Make things slightly more awkward for Velocity going into the bonus round next. But so far, Velocity Gaming have not really shown us too much of their unique strategy. It's been clean takes so far. Him doesn't even get to yoink that gun away. No stealing weaponry. And Velocity with only one man lost, I think that's a fair anti-eco.
Oh yeah, that's a solid one. No dents. And they will be able to continue on the forward with the bonus weapons. Considering they have got the close range weapons in the hand, so they'll probably try to bum rush it down on his side. True Ripper should be ready for a quick execute. But still, it's just all the speculations. You do hear the chants as well in the audience.
Yeah, you can hear it, right? It's very faint. The crowd inside the arena itself is not as much as you'll see probably during the LAN finals, but hey, I'm glad that there's still some support for one of these teams. Velocity fans aren't that loud in the arena. I don't even know if they're present, but as long as TR people are cheering on their own team, they will get the morale boost. Oh, and they definitely need it against a team like Velocity.
Oh yeah,
this time Velocity is changing up their approach. Instead of going for a full-on rush, they are playing their default. They're playing it slow.
Ooh, good way to start things off for Matarasu this time. In mid, put all the way down to Grave, and now True Rippers. At least they've got the man advantage to start this round off. It's a bonus round for VLT. Even if they do lose out this round, it's not going to affect them that much. But they've still got 4 players up and live. Doma as well as there. He will try to run it down all the way. Even the knife fault's being used, and now finally as they start to make their way on the side, Echo finds a nice connection on the opponent. Sheriff's gonna ring in. Disrupt all by himself will also stop the plants, and now things are starting to work out in their favor. But look at Hellfighter, he managed to sneak
30
in.
seconds left.
Massive.
And he might just catch Disrupt off guard.
Bam.
Well, it's not just Disrupt, he might catch everybody off guard. Eccles just needs to hold on, and he's done so. The Prowler bleeding out the back halt. It now tells them where the remaining players are, and all he has to do is win the duel, but Techno edges him out.
But the amount of guns that are being taken away, Crips, I'm still worried. And in the upcoming round, they're not even going to have the money to buy the full loadout. So you can expect some broken buys here from True Rippers to try and make sure anything possible in the upcoming round. Those broken buys are something they will need to rely on heavily. This round was quite scrappy, to be honest. Trades did start to happen back and forth. At the start, it felt like True Rippers might just have the upper edge, but still VLT, those last 2 players really started to make things possible.
Yeah, from a 2v4 down to a 1v1, that was actually quite a good recovery for Velocity Gaming. And this time Velocity are going for one of those fast hits. I mean, I call it fast because they're going straight towards B and not wasting time anywhere else, but they're still creeping in quite slowly. 0 point. Best value.
Blocking sight.
Look at Doma, a brave dive inside. Gets the better of Aryu, but Disrupt is there to stop him. The narrow angle doesn't really let Disrupt re-peek the angle and whip. He tries to get the trade, he tries to avenge his fallen teammate, but at that point, peeking out the Nebula is a death sentence.
Yeah. C's utilized as well just to make sure no one's staying there behind the counter. But HellFF finds Kazan. Perfect shot on that man's skull. And Amaterasu will peek out as well and wins that duel. Now, this is where VLT, they will just start to gain even more confidence in those duels, because they're able to win it out quite easily.
Yeah, now the VLT fans start to cheer things.
Yeah, it's funny that True Rippers and VLT fans right next to each other. In the front are True Rippers, and then in the back are VLT fans.
It's always this is always a scene at every LAN, you know. Most of the times it's the fans of one team sitting on one side, the fans of the other team sitting on the other side, and the whole arena just gets bisected in two. Every time a team wins a round, one side is louder than the other. And every now and then you'll also see the fans just banter with each other, try to make fun of each other's teams. So it's quite interactive that way. If you guys are in Delhi right now and if you've got the opportunity to visit the arena yourself, go ahead and do it. We're gonna keep on giving away these tickets on our social media, so follow NODWIN Gaming on Twitter as well as Instagram. You get a chance to win the tickets to the LAN arena itself, and an even bigger opportunity to win something. If you guys are at all interested in watching the Hindi stream, then go ahead and check it out on Loco, because you guys have the chance to win Riot Cash worth 1,000 Valorant points.
Moving on forward, some heavy talking is definitely being done. And I think so the main reason why that tactical timeout was called as well is because now VLT, they're starting to give out a lot of drive peaks. And the coaches probably capitalize on that, because there are quite a lot of drive peaks coming out from VLT. So there's a high chance you probably should be able to get the grip back in the round. And True Rippers, look at them. They've already pushed up quite deep. Kazan, this man has already got so much map control with the help of his teammate. There's two guys pushing up from the back lines, and Excali sort of seems quite ready for that. They will make this flank possible, but VLT on the other hand, they're going to just try to make this stroll possible on the beat. Slowly and steadily walking their way in, making sure they're not really giving a lot of foot cues away and a lot of sound cues away. And they will eventually be spotted out. Doma's got the dash prime, will dash all the way in the back lines. True Rippers, they don't even have the superior weaponry to try and hold them off. And Doma will find the first opening. VLT, they get the two-man down in the back lines. But now, this entire flank might just be able to find something. But no, it's going to be the answer, because VLT, they just mow them down like a lawnmower.
Quite a simple take from VLT, but it's still so effective. You've got the Jet dashing into the back halls, and while the rest of True Rippers are busy trying to kill the people who are still entering the site, they did not know that the back halls was already compromised. So them staying anywhere on the site near the pillar is basically a death trap. And even the backstab from True Rippers was given away by the turret.
Target out.
I mean, pretty much similar story what just happened yesterday too, right? 11-6 is the score, and in the first half it did seem quite a close affair, but then later on in the second half they're just starting to run away with the lead. And look at Doma surprises Techno from on the top like a bird in the sky. We'll be able to connect all of his knives. This time the wings aren't being clipped, and Techno put to sleep.
I mean, he's not a bird in the sky, he's a fire-breathing dragon hovering above the map geometry, raining down death and destruction everywhere. And if they manage to avoid him towards the A site, then look at what's waiting for them on B. It's Kazan with the AWP. One more kill and he's gonna have the Blade Storm of his own. Then Doma's got fair game. Then he's got fair competition.
Nice. Found the first opening. I mean, all VLT need is one more round in the back to get this map point in the hand. And lockdown will be initiated too. Amaterasu is just making sure the player's being put back from the entire force. And look at Hellfighter. This flank wasn't there on the attacking side the entire half. And now he finally executes that. The conditioning at its finest. That's all we can say. In the front, the man's there to try and distract him a little bit more. And True Rippers, they get dismantled once again. Are you And Kazan all by himself, the last two players, the last two glimmer of hopes alive to try and stop this map point from happening. But VLT, they know it's in their hands. All they need to do is just hide and wait for them to push up impatiently, and that's what exactly happens. Operator shut down. Are you all by himself with a dream in the front?
This dream is turning into a nightmare. Velocity are running away with this map. It was a great crunch towards B-Link.
Match point.
Hellfighter hasn't really gone for any of those flanks up until now, but the moment he decides to do it, True Rippers are bamboozled. First of all, that shot from Doma, it's the chef's kiss. It's picture perfect. Kazan's offshot gave them a little hope, but then Velocity Gaming take B with so much force and brutality. True Rippers just simply cannot hold on. They deliberately gave up the B side, hoping that they will be able to stay alive and go for a retake. But before the retake even begins, before they can even mount it, there's a flank from Hellfighter. And at the same time, Amaterasu peeks out of B-Link as well. So anyone in that region is crunched from both sides.
And this tactical timeout is called for a reason, right? Because they just want to make sure they're sealing the deal on this entire game. Because there's a high chance True Rippers might just start to run away with the comeback. Because they have tasted the blood. True Rippers have managed to find a little bit of kryptonite in the previous round. But still, they don't really want to let this slide away. They don't really want to pretty much keep on repeating the similar pattern inside the game. They want to bring a new variety. And I think so that's the reason why they're brought this tactical timeout up.
Yeah, if you've got it, you use it. Velocity are not the kind of team that want to waste their time, and look at the death ball executes they've got. Nightfall, Null Command, Cosmic Divide. If Velocity activate all three of these ultimates and just walk into a site, True Rippers will not be able to hold on. They will be forced to go for a retake. Now luckily for them, there's lockdown. The only person who can probably stop this whole take in the first place is going to be Techno and Kaizen. Kaizen's sharp up until now, but the
Oh
blade
my
storm does
God!
nothing. Doma is an absolute beast.
How is this even possible? Doma single-handedly shuts down the entire push. Just deactivate it. And look at them. LFF being spotted out this time. They knew the lurk came in once, and there's a high chance the second time as well. It will happen. And it's being caught off guard. Lockdown initiated. True Rippers, this is nicely done. VLT will need to respect that and fall back at least as quick as possible. There's no point in making the commitments happen. They will try to fall back in the nick of time. Doma might just be detained, and he won't be. But he is behind the pillar, so at least he's safe for now. Nightfall executed as well. It's Cali all the way in the back line, so that means they also need to worry about the back lines. True Rippers, this retake seems next to impossible. Just the 2 players against 4 players of VLT. They find the first, but the time's ticking away.
Easy does it for Velocity Gaming. Amaterasu stepping into the server, it's like a breath of fresh air. I would love to see him again and again. But let's be honest, that second half for Velocity seems out of this world. True Rippers only got 1 round in that entire half.
I mean, first map secured by VLT, and as expected, they pretty much ran through it. The first half, it felt like the series might just be a little bit more competitive, but then later on in the second half, they just started to run away with the lead. Pretty much what happened yesterday against OG and Reckoning Esports. In the first half, things were looking quite competitive. In the second half, they just started to run away with the lead. So these top teams, man, they're really making the other teams, the underdogs, struggle a lot. But ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, it's time for us to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
I know my destiny.
to Valorant Challenger South Asia, driven by Hyundai, as we do move on forward towards the Asian Select, and we can see things are looking quite interesting. Omen is being picked up, or at least being hovered up so far by Argue, and he's probably going to go ahead and lock it in. Wimp is going to be on that breach, so interesting stuff. Disrupt is on the Cypher and Argue on that Omen. So a classic composition, but the problem is they haven't really got that info gathering agent. Pretty much similar stuff that we saw yesterday as well. I think so yesterday we saw the split being played as well, and one of the main reasons why split was sort of tough on the Reckoning Esports was because they didn't have an info gathering agent, which stung them later on in the upcoming match, in the upcoming rounds. But let's see how things are going to be looking like as we move on forward on the map 2 of this series. True Rippers versus VLT. We're going to kick things off in pistol. True Rippers on the defending side and VLT on the attack to find out who's going to come through victorious and take this entire series in their hand. I brought up that entire composition of OG, and even Reckoning Esports said there weren't any info gathering agents, and it was from both the sides. But VLT, considering they have got one in the name of Excali, is picked up KO. This should sort of help them out quite a bit as well. Look at VLT, pedal to the metal, aggressive start for them. Doma's taken down quite low. Man's crawled up a little bit too much, and Kazan's able to find these kills. Nicely done. The nade's gonna add on a little bit of more pressure on the opponents, and VLT, things are now starting to crumble down. It's a 3-on-5 scenario, and True Rippers so far, they've managed to hold down the side pretty well. VLT able to creep and crawl their way towards ramp, just going for some random spams through the smoke, not able to find anything. Wimp should be able to see someone here in the close quarters, and he does. Spots out the players. They have managed to sort of travel all the way through the heaven area. Tremor being used, nothing found. Guiding light as well is not going to be able to find any connections, so at least that's a good thing for True Rippers. They're able to avoid and dodge all the utilities so far. As they start making their way in, True Rippers, they start picking them apart one after the other. Perfectly done, but Helifev all by himself was able to get 2 kills, but that's all he's going to get. True Rippers, a solid round to kick things off with. First round on the board, and as I said, the defending side, if True Rippers are going to start things off on that, it will give them an early edge inside the competition. But it's still the first round. Nothing much can be said. It was a complete A hit, and it sort of came apart for them. Now they're going to have the anti-eco going up, where Kazan's on a Phantom and a light armor, and the rest of his team on Stingers and Bulldogs. VLT. This time it's going to be an all-out B hit. All the 5 players available. No satchels on Doma, so it's not going to be a double satchel quick burst.
Wow, my eyes are down.
VLT will need to go for those aim battles, and it seems like Disrupt is quite adamant to peek out. They will. It's a double peek, but Hellfighter, he finds a kill. Disrupt being put to sleep in the backside. Are you ready with the paranoia just to force him out a little bit more? But look at Kazan, he's positioned himself quite deep in mid, while the rest of the VLT is going to start to rack up, stack together, move all the way back to the A site. And True Ripper should be able to get the grip on exactly what's going on here. VLT, they're trying to be quite sneaky. Nothing out of the box, nothing out of the ordinary, just trying to catch the opponents off guard with their presence. It is an eco round, so the main motto of this round has to be to put as many dents as possible in the opponent's economy. Wimp is ready in the close quarters with the Spectress, and as he finds one, he will be able to get it quite easily. Tremor being used as well, and Techno, he plays off of that crossfire perfectly. Wimp and Techno play that nicely off of each other. And True Rippers, another round in their hands. 2-0 is the score. And now this is where VLT will get their hands on supreme weaponry. Vandals and Phantoms are going to be on the board. So far, the fans are happy with the first 2 rounds, but maybe it's too early to celebrate.
One enemy remaining. 30 seconds left.
And True Rippers,
Down A.
and keep this thing in mind. As I said, there's no info gathering agent. So for True Rippers, the only way to gather info is either that aggressive Cypher cam, or try and send someone aggressive on the aggressive page and find out the presence yourself. And that's what exactly is going to happen. Look at True Rippers. This push from mid. really to surprise the players, and fortunately for them, no one was being spotted out as well, but Kazan this time gets caught off guard with an off angle. Perfect flash to try and nullify the player, but that's not going to be the case. Argue still comes out on top in that fight.
Oh my god. I'm actually very surprised that True Rippers managed to make that push work. It seemed a bit too audacious and a bit too brave, but with that push, True Rippers not only find the kill and equalize the man advantage, but also find the spike. Now, it would be a little foolish of them to continue holding on to that region, so they give it up and fall back to their defaults. But look at the amount of mid-control that's now available in the hands of Velocity Gaming. Nobody from True Rippers marking it. In fact, they're so paranoid that somebody might have snuck through the mid-vent region that both the Cypher and the Omen on True Rippers are going back towards the defender's spawn, hoping to catch someone over there. That's not going to be the case.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Oh.
Imp catches Hellfighter off guard. He just got out of his yoga position.
30 seconds left.
Oh no, that astral form, man, sometimes can really just dig your own grave. But yeah, it's a 4-on-3. VLT, they don't really have the man number to back it up, and look at Wimp, he's ready with a flash. A quick flash down the peak. But Disrupt, this man is just feeling himself. Good shots to kick things off with. And another headshot to close things out. True Rippers, a solid round from them.
Yeah, dude.
Deactivating VLT on their own map.
Yeah, it did not even seem like True Rippers was struggling at all. The moment they got that first kill on mid, they fell all the way back towards the top of mid, and nobody from Velocity was able to punish them on the way back. They were able to retreat scot-free. And then you had Velocity just defaulting throughout the map, hoping to sell misinformation, but True Rippers aren't buying any of that.
Right there.
Crossfires on B were not even that strong, but they still seemed out to be so potent, dude. The position's not ideal, but the execution from True Rippers on how to defend the site is picture perfect.
True Rippers, 3 players stacked up. Not a good news. Fall back, and yeah, he's quite low. Unfortunately, for True Rippers, they were also being suppressed, so now finally the heal will go through. Wimp is back on a decent amount of HP, but VLT, what? They start to make sure that the bodies aren't going to fall down on an eco round. They've already found one player on the name of Kazan, and also got their hands on one gun. But Disrupt all by himself on his A site is now starting to cause a lot of ruckus. He finds the first man, will get the second one down as well. And Disrupt somehow is able to shut down every single player all by himself. And True Rippers, they come out on top once again.
The Cypher lays out the trap, and just like a bunch of flies unaware of the spider lurking around the corner, Velocity Gaming walk right into those traps. Disrupt was an absolute monster in this round, lurking in the shadows, using his own cyber cage for cover, isolating the fights from Velocity Gaming, and mowing them down one at a time. You take things step by step, take things slowly, and True Rippers are now starting to build up quite a good lead.
Oh, interesting stuff. True Rippers with this aggressive presence all the way towards main.
One enemy
It's
remaining.
not working out in their favor, and look at VLT. The bodies start to crumble. They start to hit the floor. And Disrupt once again, the final glimmer of hope alive. He's got the weaponry to back him up, but I think so. Going for this entire take is going to be a little bit too tough. There's 2 players waiting for him on mid. As soon as he steps out, we'll be greeted with a bullet to his dome, probably. Unless if he's able to spot out Hellfire there.
Again.
He does. That astral form once again digs his own grave, but Excali's ready, holding that angle.
It's the second time that Hellfighter died while being in the astral form. He's getting a bit unlucky every now and then, but hey, as long as Velocity win the round, it's fine. You gotta feel bad for Disrupt over here. He was holding the A site so well with his Cypher setup. But the moment he decided to stray away from there and go towards the B instead, that's when Velocity Gaming crunched him. I mean, to be fair, it did not even seem like that much of a crunch, right? They got one pick towards A, and then the rest of the bodies just hit the floor like a sack of potatoes on mid.
Yeah. They were just brute forcing their way to get that mid control, but this time it's going to be in the name of Kazan. Kazan's going to deny that brute force, but they're starting to lose out the duels, and they line up for Kazan once again. Beast being activated, and now VLT, they start to hit the floor once again. They had that round in the hand in the previous one, but This time they try to replicate the same thing that they did in the previous round, and it didn't work out. I guess the pattern being recognized quickly enough, and True Ripper's able to adapt instantly. And VLT, they need to realize now they need to start putting up a little bit more variety on the table.
The flurry of utility exchange doesn't really bode well for Velocity. They can't use the same tricks twice, and True Rippers, even if they are burnt once, they will be twice as shy. This time they were not just shy, they were optimistically cautious. Much needed timeout from Velocity. True Rippers have been playing quite aggressively. Towards mid, they sometimes rush all the way down, but when they don't, they hold this deadly crossfire towards B Heaven and the vent door. That can obliterate Velocity every time they try to venture in. And then on the A side, the Sage is just being such a thorn in the side for Velocity.
I wonder what these coaches are talking, man. Because so far for True Rippers, things are working out pretty well. They lost that one round because we saw a little variety from Velocity Gaming. And probably the first initial thought has to be that there might just be one more variety setup coming in from Velocity. And the coach is probably trying to educate the players on how they're supposed to counter that. Because Velocity, the only way they were able to get that one round, as I mentioned, was through bringing in a variety in the playstyle.
I mean, even though Velocity have tried 2 or 3 new strats up until now, all of them have failed. They tried going for the fast B push, it did not work. The fast A push worked once, but you can't even call that like a fast one, you know? It was mostly because of Velocity winning the fights towards mid.
That goes there.
True Rippers are the ones who've been using 2 variations of the same mid hit, and both of them have been super effective up until now.
Recovering it.
Velocity. They're starting to stroll around the B side. Excali finds Kazin this time. Man try to be a little aggressive. And this time he's been taken care of. Nicely done by Excali. Definitely a pick they really needed to keep the players of True Rippers under control.
I've got your
Techno's
trail.
holding the close quarters, and he's also got the resurrection up. As soon as he gets the opportunity to get Kazin back on his feet, he will. And True Rippers, they realize now finally the site's under hit. Cosmic Divide used as well, and they start to make their way on the site. But there's 2 players on mid who are lurking around. And True Rippers, they will probably find out the surprise for themselves soon enough.
Oh no, they used the wall, hoping to cut off Excali from backup. Amatras was heading in that region to simply provide him some assistance, but Excali doesn't need any help. He is the man who can do it all by himself. Solo army went for the consolation frag, but that's all that she wrote for him. And Excali with yet another frag. Quadra for him to step up for the team.
I'm not a huge fan of how Wimp is committing to a crouch spray instantly as soon as he sees the enemies. There was a high chance he could have gotten the first one if he wouldn't have just committed for the crouch one in. Look at this. It causes a little bit of whiffs if you're just going to straight up commit for a crouch peek, and also gives the opponent a high chance to try and readjust and shut you down. So sometimes it cannot be a good decision. But hey, True Rippers, they still have a decent amount of lead that they can rely on.
But you never know when this lead will diminish. At least for the time being, True Rippers not just have weapons, but also have extra money. So in case they fail, they have another chance to purchase these weapons. But they're not gonna have too many of those chances. Can't let Velocity get all the momentum. A lot of utility being expended. That's a very creative way to change the trajectory of the boom bot. Use the satchel. Camera tagged, and Eccles just about gets back in time. But this is so innovative. Look at what they've done. They've got the Cypher tripwires placed on the A side, but the cameras on B. This way, if Excali uses his null command and the Cypher's on the other side, the tripwires will still remain active even if the Cypher gets suppressed. So you have him play another site while using the utility elsewhere. That's a good way to deal with the null command.
Four players outside mid. And this Rolling Thunder is just perfect. It's going to catch everyone off guard. Utilities being used on both the sides, but still somehow Eccles is able to find that shot.
30 seconds left.
Velocity. They're somehow able to get the grip back inside this entire round, and Excali's now back on his feet too. I'm quite surprised that we're not able to shut down the players in the front. But Eccles, with that single shot being hit, he nullifies the entire push. And now True Rippers, they will find themselves in the advantageous shooters once again. Eccles being able to shut down the man on the site, but nothing else being found up after that. Are you still in the close quarters? Will nullify the spike plant. And now the only way True Rippers can stay alive is are you if he manages to survive, but no is going to be the answer.
Are you? More like, are you serious? The time went down so low that Velocity had no choice but to commit to the plant. And that's when they did not check for are you. The paranoia was almost perfect. Amaterasu just sidestepped at the last second. But if Amaterasu was hit by the paranoia, this would have been yet another round for True Rippers.
Dude, Argue shouldn't have peeked out there. When he knows the opponent's in the front, he shouldn't have done that. He didn't have a gun primed in his hands, and he still went for that peek. Oh, that's a huge mistake. Massive mistake, especially when you know there's only 3 seconds left on the clock. You just need to waste those 3 seconds, and True Rippers, they choke. Let's see what this tactical timeout's going to bring out from True Rippers, because they really do need this one. VLT, they're starting to run away with these rounds now. 3 rounds back-to-back won.
But even though True Rippers lost this round, you have to appreciate that Rolling Thunder. It was so well timed. They hear the sound cues, they realize that Velocity are now starting to prep up their mid-hit. And once Velocity begins, it's going to be difficult to stop them because they've got such powerful initiators, and the backup that these guys provide to their front lines, man, it is insane. So you might as well just try to disrupt them, no pun intended, by using the Rolling Thunder before Velocity even has a chance to get up close on mid. That's what got them the early frag on Excali. But everything after that just went downhill for them.
Smokes up. Look at Techno, it's pushed up quite deep. We'll need to fall back considering he got spotted by the Trailblazer. We'll catch a bit of damage with the nade, but not enough to soften him up. The wall will be instantly cut down to pieces. Velocity Gaming, they have shown their presence towards B main, but let's see how much that presence is going to mean out, because there's still Amaterasu and Excali on the lurk. Both of these guys, one guy's in the mid, the other guy's all the way to A. And I highly doubt this lurk's going to be expected. Amaterasu might just have a free stall all the way to heaven, but it is being expected, but he still somehow wins that duel. How is that even possible?
Amaterasu knows the tricks. He knows somebody will sit in this poison cloud. And he checks that very angle. And now that he's made presence known towards A main, the rest of his teammates can continue walking up mid. There's no tripwire towards the vent region, but there is one right outside of it.
30 seconds
If they can
left.
use the 0 point now and suppress the cypher, then they can sneak through the tripwires, but it seems like they're just going to brute force their way in. Doma charging in with the showstopper. Won't find anyone on site, but Disrupt is lucky that he doesn't get blown apart to smithereens.
Welcome to my
Site clearance was the prime
Spike planted.
motivation, or was the prime motive for them, and that's what they exactly did. Oh, the man got spotted out, but instantly their tripwire was nullified, so that's a good news. Velocity Gaming, they have got the grip on the site, but let's see for how long they're going to be able to sustain that in the hand. Good flash to try and nullify the players in the front, and both of them will be taken care of. The last 2 players alive. Resurrection is there in the hands of Techno, but he's only got a Stinger to try and back him up. Excali will be found. The Stinger should sting in the close range, but this time he runs out of bullets. Hellfighter, lucky to stay alive in that situation. Disrupts right outside the ropes. He finds one, gets the second one as well, but Doma will seal the deal.
Jeez, Disrupt is on fire, dude. You better deal with it before he gets out of control. Even when the odds are stacked against him, he's able to get kills like that? Insane. Imagine what's going to happen when Velocity are on face first into his Cypher setup. They will be stopped in their tracks in the most brutal way possible. So Disrupt is really feeling himself. This is his game to lose.
I mean, Kazan's got his hands on the judge, and this map is known for the shock in place. Let's see how much this Jersey is going to be able to take down the opponents. Disrupt was able to get a quick glimmer of the opponents. Instantly will be able to fall back. Doma still checks the close quarters, doesn't find anyone. Kazan in the close lines as well with the judge, just waiting for someone to pass on. He does find a little bit of damage done, but unfortunately the second time the jump peek is not going to work out. That's an overcommitment from Kazan. Not able to push the opponents. It's definitely going to hurt him a bit. And now they also start to wrap up from the vents area. And Arhu looks away at the nick of time. That's a wrong time to look away from. But at least Disrupt was able to get away with one. But the traits are now going to hit the floor. Back and forth from both the sides, and Wimp and Techno, the last players alive. A Phantom and a Stinger once again. These guys are able to force out, but not able to get the values with the force.
Velocity are picking up every fight towards A main. They don't even go towards the site and try to plant. They just want to kill everybody right here. Techno has the resurrection available, but he's too paranoid to go for it. He's going to hope that Doma doesn't check the angle. And at this range, the Stinger is deadly, but Doma is sharper. Whew. That was a close round. Considering the weapons that were available on either side, Velocity should not have lost these many members. Luckily, they've got the money, so it's not a problem for them yet. But if True Rippers are able to mount up such a stellar defense with just a bunch of Stingers, I can't imagine what's going to happen when they start rotating all their players in the appropriate positions on time.
But Doma with that 4K, man, just coming out of top like a hero for his team. And True Rippers, those broken buys are really not working out for them. There's an ultimate available, a showstopper in the hands of the duelist Kazan. Let's see how he's going to utilize that. It can definitely be a momentum breaker if used at the right time at the perfect moment. And the perfect place. Matarasu once again just lurking around in the same spot, and there's might just be a chance where he will probably be able to catch one man off guard.
Need that back.
There's no one available on the A side. It's completely given away to retake. For now, the prime control for the side of True Rippers is the B main and also the mid. They don't want to let the mid control go away just like that. Look at Doma managing to sneak all the way deep in. Disrupts position compromised, but he doesn't know there's a man wrapping around from the back. Perfectly done from VLT. Able to read their opponents, but then True Rippers, they make a push happen off their own. And now True Rippers, they're also starting to read their opponents pretty nicely. Flash out. We'll be able to suppress Eccles at least for now, but that's all he's going to be done. Wimp is able to make the escape.
Yeah, that's okay. Wimp has to escape from that position. He can't afford to face them both at the same time. Resurrection turns into a 2v5. Good shot from Eccles, but Doma has way too much on his plate. Great adjustments from True Rippers. Velocity Gaming did a damn good job trying to just stay put. They knew that True Rippers will push out from somewhere. It happened to be B main, and to some extent Velocity were prepared. But True Rippers just come out swinging wide and they win the duels. You see, this shot is impressive enough from Kazan. But then Techno gets Excali through the side cage. That's just nuts. That shouldn't have happened.
But I like the thought process of VLT here. It's just that True Rippers made their own stuff happen pretty quickly. That entire flank from the B main. The adaptive nature was really quickly there from the side of True Rippers because they're now starting to recognize this pattern where they've got one man in the close quarters and what was that? Wait, hold on. What?
Both the showstoppers not finding any value. Doma almost died to the aftershock. Jumps across his safety even though he's stunned by the rolling thunder. But look at the silver lining. True Rippers have now lost a player and two massive ultimates.
Four players still up though. For True Rippers, there is still a glimmer of hope for them. They have managed to win one round in the past, so that's still keeping their lifeline alive in the first half. They're making it quite competitive, but hopefully it's not going to be the similar repetition of where in the second half VLT will start to run away with the lead. He's ready with the tremor too, man. Not a huge fan of how this is going to look like if VLT do decide to push the B main, but no is going to be the answer. They fall back at the last second.
Yeah, but True Rippers are aware about this. They were already in place towards the B side, ready to stop Velocity push. But now that they don't see any activity, True Rippers know they're heading towards the
You want to
site.
fight it?
It's a race against time now. Oh, that's a good block to try. Cuts off the line of sight from everybody on True Rippers. The only way they can really fight this is if they push out of this costly fight, and that's not the ideal.
10 seconds left.
Hellfighter racking up a ruckus on Heaven, destroying True Rippers' avenues of retake. And now in this 2v5, there's no massive ultimates available. Aryu has from the shadows, but what can he even possibly accomplish with this one? As soon as the peek out of the smoke, it's gonna be a death trap. Oh, okay then, they get both those kills. Now it's looking possible, but they've lost quite a lot of HP. Stun onto Doa is successful, but
One
Doa is
enemy
playing
remaining.
off of excellent contact. And as soon as one swings, the other one will too.
Ooh.
Cover going out.
The teleport was good, but unfortunately, it's going to be right on the faces of the opponents, and they will take advantage of that fact. Look at Deathmaker. He's just sitting back having a great time watching this entire matchup. The funny part is that VLT, they're not even worried, even though the fact that is that in the first half, it's quite a close affair. I think so in the second half, the outcome has to be the same, right? Where they just start to run away with the lead, but we don't exactly know, man. That's how things have been looking like so far. In the first half, it's just way too close, and then the second half, it's just one-sided affair. But we'll be able to find that out, I guess, after this short break.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Welcome back after that short break, and now we're soon going to move on forward to the second half of Split. The first half is quite a close affair. Honestly, all props to True Rippers. They have tried their best to make sure that they're putting a leash on VLT, but I highly doubt that leash is going to be sustainable in the second half.
Is it a leash or is it a pair of handcuffs? Or is it one of those explosive collars that you see in Mad Max? You never know, man. You never know. Maybe it's just Velocity having their arms around the necks of True Rippers itself. I mean, they don't mess around with the collars or the handcuffs or whatever. They like to get close and personal with their frags.
Interesting.
Sorry, that was a bit too dark. I don't know where that came from.
Toxins going up.
Okay, we're going to kick things off on the pistol here, ladies and gentlemen. Now the sides are being soft, as you all know. True Rippers on the attack and VLT on the defense.
No charges left.
And as I said, sometimes Split can heavily be that defender-sided map, so let's see what sort of a strategy True Rippers have got cooking up for this map. There was a hawk utilized in the mid, so presence is definitely given away. Eccles knows that there's a man available in mid. But this time it's going to be True Rippers who take the heat against them. Kazan was able to kick things off on a great note, was able to open things off perfectly, and they are going to try to traverse through the vents area. They've got the Heaven control in the hand, but look at Techno. This man is peeking out straight up to the opponent's face, is not scared of anyone.
True Rippers turn up the pace. In the blink of an eye, they're already in the sight. And Velocity don't know what hit them. Oh, breaking this barrier up is gonna be such a nightmare. It creates a multitude of angles that just simply weren't present before. And it's taken them forever to do this. And when they finally manage to break the orb, there's a stun in their faces. Man, this is just not happening. There's no way Velocity have an entry into the site. This is a flawless pistol from True Rippers.
Wow. A round that they really needed, huh? True Rippers have been looking pretty solid in their pistol rounds, to be honest. So I guess that worked out in their favor. And now they'll also have the better weaponry to help out even more in the future rounds. Stingers, Spectres on the board. A good news indeed. Argu will go for a Vandal instead. Let's see how it's going to pan out for them. That one single Vandal. I mean, it's just an eco for the opponent, so can't really expect much off of damage. Unless somehow VLT is able to switch things apart. He's was able to shut down their opponent somehow. And this is exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of jinxed it for True Rippers. There's only one Sheriff on Velocity, and Doma uses it to get the advantage 1 second into the round. Velocity 4-stack to its A. They'll try to send it through with the Trailblazer. Disrupt isn't adequately armed to deal with this. He's got the Ghost. With the Cyber Cage, he might keep himself alive for a couple more seconds, but he's gonna succumb eventually. Now, Velocity Gaming don't find anything over here. This tells them that True Rippers are headed towards the B side with the spike. But then there's Doma, who's marking B, and he doesn't see anyone. So there's only one real derivative that you can get out of this round, and it's that Velocity figured out True Rippers have already taken mid, or no, probably already on their back lines.
Oh my god!
Opportunity missed. Doma gets another lifeline, but he's stunned, and Kaizen's jumping around like a bunny to get the better of him.
Spike planted.
Spike's being planted. Good news for True Rippers. All the 3 players are now towards main, and 2 of them are quite softened up. And there's still a Vandal available in the opponent's side, so the Vandal's going to shred through if it's going to find any piece of meat in front of it. True Rippers, as soon as I say that, Kaizen's going to peek out. I mean, Kaizen's here to pretty much wrap up as many points as possible. These are free points, and that's what Kaizen's here to get. Excali's down to only 4 HP. Maybe he should pass on over that stinger to Eccles. Because he's got a better amount of HP, but he still is managing to find 1 kill. So that's good news for them. Wim's going to fall back, respect Excali right there at that moment. But still a decent eco round.
Yeah. 3 kills from Velocity Gaming on this eco. This is going to make things slightly difficult for True Rippers in the next round. That is their bonus. But they've still got the Vandal in their hands, so that's something. True Rippers have at least a little bit of firepower. You put that Vandal in the hands of Kaizen, and he's going to open things up. So yeah, it looks even more impressive in slow motion, doesn't it?
Yeah. Just quickly peeks out, crouches, and gets that tap, and falls back.
Boom.
So easy to say, but hard to execute in the game.
Yeah, of course.
Toxins going up.
These are not the kind of shots that you are used to seeing on an everyday basis. Maybe for these guys, it's nothing new. Oh, look at this. Instead of using the smokes right off the bat, they have to use their cyber cages to traverse. Velocity had the Viper's toxin screen to make these traversals, but True Rippers have to rely on the cyber cages. Kaizen's already taken way too much damage. The paint shell might actually kill him. Doma peeks out. That's a nice shot through the smoke. And a 4v5 in the retake.
Whip was the man who was shut down in Kaizen. Even though he's quite low, he's still able to find 1. Amaterasu Viper's not on the floor anymore. And it's a 4-on-4. Oh, this could have went huge there if he would have gotten away with 1 more kill. But Kaizen somehow is able to shut down the opponents with the aggressive ways moving up forward. He's on rampage. 2 more to go. But Kaizen this time taken care of. RU needs to play this position a little safe. Needs to have a bit more patience. Might just be able to catch 1 player slip by, but Excali's on the top and will catch him off guard.
Velocity Gaming finally putting up a board in this half. And now the pendulum shifts. Let's see if Velocity can keep this momentum going. True Rippers have just enough money to force weaponry if they want. Are they going to go for it, though? No, it's just going to be a bunch of sheriffs, that's all. But they still need to be careful about Kaizen's showstopper. Once Kaizen starts to feel himself, he's going to move fearlessly into enemy territory and maybe blow up some people.
Judging the close quarters, man.
This goes here.
It will hurt if used properly. True Rippers. They've got light armors on some of their players. They did lose out on that previous round. Then now they'll need to make sure that they're squeezing out the maximum amount of value with these sheriffs. Able to shift to walk in. First shot connected, but not able to get rewarded with the kill.
Okay. This is quite slow from True Rippers. I expected them to play really quickly since it's just an eco and they don't have much to lose. Yeah, but Doma He can be a real pain with this judge. And the killing spree begins. And if the judge isn't enough, the fragment and the paint shells are. Do you continue going there though? The spike is dropped and there's nothing to deal with Doma. There's no utility to push him back. The flashes don't seem to affect him at all.
Doma with that 3K with the judge, and he's going to keep on
left.
moving forward. There's a crossfire in the front, but Wimp, he's ready for that peek. He will be shut down. He does find one though, so at least you can't say that's a little cushion. But Disrupt all by himself, he knows there's a judge in the front, man. It's going to be a huge challenge for that man, but he still manages to out-aim Doma. Judge being nullified, and now at least that should be a big threat taken care of, but he just doesn't have a lot of time left. 10 seconds in the hands, and Eccles will seal the deal. Another round in the hands of VLT. They're now starting to tie up the score.
If this judge stays active for any longer, True Rippers will be so salty about it. I wonder if Duma's gonna pick it up again. I mean, of course, he's got the money to afford better weaponry, but the judge is just so effective. But then again, this was just an eco for True Rippers, so they're fine with losing this. But now the real test will begin. Scores equalized. The money situation for both these teams is still dicey. Of course, Velocity a little richer, but that doesn't really give them any clearance from the danger. Oh no, Kaizen's taking way too much damage. He's getting spammed down and peppered out. Amaterasu shoots him down through the woodworks. The paint shell does nothing to save his life. With the big gun out of the picture, how do True Rippers deal with this? They don't put any smokes towards screens yet, but they will try to play for contact. Create a wall as well. This doesn't let Velocity peek out. And with Ryu up on top, it creates a deadly crossfire. Disrupt. It's unnecessary for him to fight over there, but now that the Seekers give away his position, Doma's going into charge! And he destroys Wimp! These cyber cages have been the security cage for Disrupt, but they finally deal with him, and Ryu missed this opportunity!
Oh no, he whiffed all the shots! Ryu! Not something you were supposed to do! Oh, he had an opportunity but wasn't able to capitalize, and this is exactly what we're talking about in the pre-show segment. The opportunities are not being capitalized upon. Ryu whiffed all of his shots. If he goes huge there, he could have saved the day for his team, but Ryu... Oh, that blunder, it's gonna hurt him. It's gonna sting True Rippers in the upcoming rounds because VLT, not a single man down. It's a flawless retake on the site.
It's a domino effect. They tried to save Kaizen, and that's why Disrupt moved into that position. Wimp gets blown apart. He had no chance against Doma. But then Disrupt tried to keep himself alive in the cyber cage, hoping that Ryu will be able to save him. Never came through. Velocity Gaming just push and pull True Rippers in the directions they desire.
I will find you.
It's like one of those barbarian executions that all your limbs are just ripped apart piece by piece. It sounds brutal, and that's exactly what it is like playing against Velocity. No, not like this. You can't peek out of the Viper toxin screen like this. Not without flashes.
Ryu in the close quarters. They've got no clue that Doma's in the close, and Doma will manage to catch one off guard. But at least they get their hands on Vandal, so it's worth it. Wimp's low, so he's going to pass on the Vandal over to the man who's got better amount of HP. Disrupt. I mean, so far he's been able to perform quite consistently for his team, even on the first and the second map. Nero Theft being activated, so now they've got the presence node. There's one man pushed up quite deep towards BMA, and he's playing for that info. Echo's going to push back. Wimp's going to be in the front lines to charge on forward. Techno's positioned himself in quite a decent spot towards Haven, but it's being checked out by the Viper in the name of Amaterasu. So far inside this map, we haven't really seen Amaterasu to his full extent. There have been quite nice plays on the attacking side so far. Techno able to get the trade in hand. Eccles being shut down and nullified. He's able to get the second man down too. Techno goes huge. Doesn't really have a lot of HP left, but he's got a resurrection available. So that should give him an advantage in the hands of True Rippers, and Disrupt. Now it's going to start to dismantle his opponents. LFF shut down. Last man to go in the name of Excali.
10 seconds left.
Silent Gate, slow off everything except the kitchen sink thrown at him. He's just waiting to kill Techno. First man dealt with. But with his
One
position
suppressed.
known and with Wimp still having a flash to work with, it's gonna be so difficult for Excali to pull this off. True Rippers are armed to the teeth.
Flash.
They don't have any armor, but they don't need any. Oh, he knows one's to it, CT. Where's the other one? Excali on a fact-finding mission. And even though he can get the information, he can't get the rounds. True Rippers, with the Thrifty to save the day. They plunge Velocity back into the darkness.
Solid round. This map of Split is actually panning out to be quite close. It is VLT's pick, but they're getting quite a competitive series. We thought in the second half there's a high chance they'll probably start to run away with the lead, but that's not the case. Instead, True Rippers, they're giving it quite a tough fight. It was broken buys from True Rippers, and they still managed to pull this round off. Impressive stuff.
And it all started with that Vandal they acquired by killing the sneaky guy on mid.
Off your feet!
Uh-oh. Rolling Thunder, Showstopper, everything thrown at them. Velocity can't contest. They have to give up the site. It's gonna be a 5v5 retake. A very awkward one, that too.
Good flash.
Bomb buddy out.
Kaizen flashed out. Wasn't really able to see a lot through that, but this Cosmic Divide's ready in their hands. VLT is going to go ahead and utilize that Cosmic Divide at the perfect time, but Kaizen's still able to push through it and able to find that value. Excali was able to isolate. There's duels, and he managed to found through, but that's all he's going to get. The trades are now starting to happen back and forth, and it's all down to Amaterasu. It's a one-on-one situation, and RU comes out on top.
Sheesh. It's a pinstripe of a kill feed. True Rippers throw themselves at Velocity, literally yeeting their body into CT spawn. They don't want to let Velocity floodgate out of that narrow choke point. And they train every single weapon they've got in that direction.
Damn, listen to the chants. Who's the hero? It's RU.
Who's the villain, though?
I don't know.
Could it be us? Because, you know, we are always the
I mean,
ones
for
who-
True Rippers, the villain is VLT. For VLT, the villain is True Rippers.
Yeah, obviously. I'm just saying, like, from a caster's curse perspective, does that make us the villains? Because we
No.
somehow saw that Thrifty coming, and then, I don't know, did we jinx it?
No.
Nah? Alright, good.
No. I think so. The villain should be the production. They're the puppet master.
Okay.
Don't you think so? They're just sitting on the
you
top.
just threw
and
them under the bus for no reason, bro. I mean, at least now I can sleep peacefully at night. My conscience is clear. I know I'm not the villain. I'm not the nefarious one over here.
I mean, everything happens the way production wanted to go, right? So technically, they're the one controlling everything. I mean, of course, not the outcome of the map or the match. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not
that thing-
fixed. It's not
that-
scripted.
That thing's in the hands of League Ops.
I mean, it's still not scripted though. What? All right, guys, we're just messing around. Do not take us serious, okay? It's just some little banters going on. Do not take us serious. But yeah, this matchup's quite close. Interesting. VLT, they're getting a challenge on their own map pick, Split. It's been quite a huge surprise to see the way True Rippers are really starting to perform here. And VLT, they finally do get an upper edge now. They're starting to connect those shots. They're really now starting to hurt. But RU this time is able to come up huge with two of his own.
How did he even do that? They both were up and down, so he would have had to pull his mouse down to the nether realms in order to hit that spray transfer. I wish I can see that from his perspective. That would have been one hell of a shot. But now look at what Audio's up to. He knows he can't hold on to the side just by himself and Wimp, so he's gonna try to make a move. Aryu goes unchecked and Wimp strikes at the same time. A double trouble attack from True Rippers. It keeps Velocity in check. Amaterasu now has to pull off the impossible. His Viper's Spit made the mid attack a little difficult, but now he's challenging them and Wimp steps up.
Oh, True Rippers, they're starting to squeeze these rounds away. And this is where you really do need that tactical timeout now. Maybe they're asking you, who is the hero? Are you? Like, they're saying, are you the hero?
Oh, so
Have you thought about that?
I'm just gonna treat it like a rhetorical question and not answer it. It's rhetorical. It doesn't require an answer.
Hey, let me tell you what, who's the real hero? Every single person that's watching the English stream, that's a real hero.
Yes,
they
yes.
are the real heroes.
The real Chads.
The real
Speaking
Giga
of,
Chads.
speaking of English stream, just gotta remind you that
Obscuring vision.
if you decide to watch the Hindi stream, I don't know why you would want to. If you decide to, you have a chance of winning Riot Cash worth 1,000
screen
Valorant
down.
points. And now that's a good enough incentive to go watch the Hindi stream, but I would still urge you to stick to English, because that would make you a hero. And that's worth way more than any Valorant points you can ever get.
Kaizen just tapping through. Not able to find it. A lot of connections, and this is where True Rippers will now start to fall back. Sort of playing with the opponent's heads, playing with their minds. Quite
Just gotta
interesting
bury them.
tripwires, to be honest.
They just gotta bury themselves deep into the minds of Velocity, and so far they've done it. The only person marking a heaven is gonna be Doma. Can probably get one shot at the match, but then he'll be forced to fall
30
back.
seconds left.
The True Rippers now start to flood into the A side. There's nothing that Doma can do about it. He can only wait and watch as the spike gets planted inevitably.
Here.
A 5v5 retake will be in progress, but Velocity don't have the weaponry to deal with this. It's quite possible that True Rippers take this to map point, unless Velocity pull off a miracle.
Satchel out.
Oh, True Rippers. Are you? Interesting position he's found himself in. It's an off angle indeed, but this time he will be sniffed out. It's a 2-on-3 scenario, and Vimp and Kaizen, look at the amount of shots these guys are able to inflict. The pain and hurt on VLT. And Hellfighter will be shut down as well, but look at Kaizen all by himself. He gets both of them. True Rippers, how are they able to squeeze these rounds away?
Velocity have the advantage every step of the way. They were able to get the trade successfully. They even had weapons to deal with the last guy. But this time it's Kaizen's turn to wear the cape. He's the hero now, pulling off the 1v2. A tiny gap, that's all that existed in between Excalion and Hellfighter. And in that tiny gap, Kaizen finds it enough to reset his aim and strike them both down. True Rippers might just inflict Velocity with a mortal wound. This will be the first map that Velocity drop in the entire tournament if True Rippers win this round. Oh no.
Mid-presence. All of them peek out at the same time, and that's what I'm now starting to love about True Rippers. They're playing like a well-knit unit. They're playing like a team. And it's really working out in their favor. And they've already found a man advantage, so that's a good news. Excali not inside the game anymore. Definitely VLT, that's going to be hurting them in the longer run. Seekers out, all the three Seekers pointing towards mid. So VLT knows there is heavy presence towards mid. Neural Theft activated. This should give every single player's position away. And this is where True Rippers, they make the commitment on the B side because they know there's no one on B.
Wimp got trapped on the other side of the barrier and he dies. Doma now also punishes the rest of the members. Disrupt with a lovely spray. Could have been a transfer, but now it's RU trapped on Heaven. Spike dropped. He has the ultimate, so he can steal it if he wants, but he goes for the fights instead. And Hellfighter will win those any day and twice on a Monday.
True Rippers, they've got some solid support. That's +1 in the power right there. If you've got fans cheering for you like that.
Yeah,
And that's helping True Rippers, I guess, as well. Their mentality, and finally a tactical timeout being called out from at least one of those sides, and it's in the name of True Rippers. It's interesting, I guess. This tactical timeout is pretty much the similar one to VLT, but this also gives the chance for VLT coach to talk to his team as well.
It's VLT who have their backs against the wall. This map loss doesn't mean all that much to them. They have another lifeline in the form of the third map. And even if Velocity lose the series, they can still fight their way up from the lower bracket. But this will shake up their image as the undefeatable, untamable team. This will be the first map loss that Velocity face if True Rippers close this out. And it's going to take a heroic performance from Velocity to push this game into overtime. True Rippers have 4 ultimates available. This tactical timeout and the smile on their coach's face kind of tells you the True Rippers want to finish this here and now. They want to push this game to map number 3. The only person who can make a difference is going to be Amaterasu with the judge and Doma with the showstopper.
Blinded.
Ooh. Blind used. And a stun utilized as well. VLT. They wanted to get some aggressive peeks down the board, but the amount of utility stats being forced underneath their throats is just going to make them fall back a little bit more. True Rippers. They've got the Sheriffs on the board for themselves. Let's see how much the Sheriff is going to be able to make the difference. Both of these teams, they don't really have the buys that they need to sustain this entire round in the hands. The trades have started to happen back and forth, but Doma goes huge. He finds a 2K for his team, and now it's all down to Disrupt. With only a Sheriff in hand, let's see if this man is able to capitalize or not. No is going to be the answer.
Velocity keep themselves alive. And now True Rippers are going to start to feel the heat. The sense of panic kicking in. A sense of dread in the air. Tension in the atmosphere is so thick you could probably cut it with a knife. Weapons available everywhere. No team holding back, no economic struggles. It's just the last stretch.
Goes. Good hawk. Gives away the positioning too. True Rippers, they're looking pretty solid, but look at this push from VLT.
They haven't done this before.
Yeah, they haven't. But still, it's being expected, so that's a good news. And Tekno knows there's someone pushing up. That's why he's now starting to fall back. He's expecting that push coming through, but both the players from VLT, they're going to fall back. A disciplined approach to this match. They don't want to give the man number away just like that.
They're actually doing quite a good job of baiting out Velocity utility. So far, the Guiding Light and the Trailblazer on Echoes both has been used out. Oh, but now this Showstopper is going to scare them back. Doma, being the big villain, doesn't get much, but he really made True Ripper sweat there for a second. You see them scurry back for safety. 40 seconds left, and now the other Showstopper gets activated. Sent through the smoke. Nothing found. With 40 seconds left on the clock, True Rippers haven't really found any map control. The only person who can make a difference is going to be Disrupt. He's trying to sneak in via A Heaven. Maybe even clear a path for his team. But with this little time left, what can they possibly do? From the shadows committed. Nothing found. Gazen trying to lurk in towards the beast side. Doma's marking the angle. Hellfighter's in his yoga form. He sprays them both down. But this isn't even the real fight. The spike's heading towards the ace side. Eccles, he will find this. If he can kill the planter, this will be game over. There's no more time to plant. All that Eccles need to do is survive 6 more seconds. And this should be it. But True Rippers deny the win.
We're going to the third map. No one saw this coming. True Rippers. On the map pick of VLT, they dominate them. And somehow they come out on top. But hey, we're always down for a competitive matchup, a competitive series. And True Rippers, they make it quite competitive. And VLT, this is the first ever map that they have dropped inside the group stage. A huge statement being made.
It's not just a statement, dude. It's a whole revenge arc. True Rippers lost 13-2 twice against Velocity last time. It was a 2-0 victory. They got humiliated. And now they come back with the perfect storm. A revenge story that is gonna put any manga to shame. They kill the Kings. They make Velocity drop their first map, and for the first time they have shown that the gods can bleed.
They indeed can. And well, Velocity Gaming, definitely not an outcome they would have expected. Because with the way the matchup went last time against them, Velocity were quite confident. But now maybe they will need to try and make that swap happen once again. Maybe Deathmaker needs to be back inside the playing 5. But I don't exactly know how the outcome's going to be looking like on the Decider map. On the map of Haven, that's going to be played. But after this short break.
Can't for my wings, I need my eggs. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in. I know my destiny. I know my destiny. I know my destiny. I know my destiny.
rounds require you to have patience and all that stuff. But a duelist is completely opposite to that. All his team needs to do is just set him up, and then duelist maybe will probably rush inside the site, create a bit of more space, try to take those duels if possible. But even if he loses out on those duels, he's already created a lot of space for his team. But moving on forward, ladies and gentlemen, towards the Asian select, as we do move on forward and take a look at that. And this time, we're going to see the similar playing five from VLT. Amaterasu is going to continue moving on forward towards the map of Haven. He is going to play the role of Killjoy.
Well, slight changes, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference when it comes to True Rippers. They still have to deal with something similar, something that they are prepared for. At least they are prepared in theory. How is it going to pan out when it comes down to the real deal, though? Amaterasu is still playing, this time with the Killjoy. You know, in the past, whenever we've seen Amaterasu, who usually plays either a duelist in the form of Phoenix, that was like way back in the day. And in the last few months of 2022, basically in the off-season, Amaterasu was playing the Initiator. So it is quite weird seeing him on the Killjoy. But I'm just happy to see him again.
Yeah. Me too. True Rippers. Good shock dart.
Spike down.
At least Doma was able to updraft and dash away, but unfortunately for Eccles, he needed to just swallow that shock dart. And that's why I lost out on the HP as well. Techno is just cornered up there and somehow is able to survive all that wrath, all the amount of utilities that So was throwing towards him. VLT, they'll fall back considering they have realized they've lost out on the man. In the name of Eccles, they've got no flashes backing him up anymore. So now they will need to straight up go on ahead and take those head collisions. At least Hellfighter's alive, so he can try to use some visual denial utilities to get rid of his opponent's visuals. But still, VLT, a rough start to this pistol round.
You see how quickly the rotation from True Rippers was present. In the blink of an eye, it's a force activate C. Now as soon as the alarm bot's broken, Wimp is going to start venturing into a shot. An area where he will not have to worry about anyone shooting him in the back, but Amaterasu challenges him right ahead. A site under control of Velocity. They can go ahead and plant. Rippers, they knew that Velocity were falling back, but they didn't want to take any chances, and now they find themselves in this awkward 4v4 retake. At least Disrupt has all his utility, so this can charge away for them inside.
Yeah. Oh, they thought the turret's on the left side. Look at the smoke that was being used, but the turret's gonna catch him off guard, and it also reveals the position away, so the flank's now compromised. True Rippers, they thought they would probably be able to sneak past the turret, but no, it's going to be the answer. VLT, they put the turret in quite an off angle, and now, because of that, flank give it away. True Rippers, they're sort of starting to fall on their faces, but no, it's going to be the answer. They've still got the man number in the hands. The spike needs to be defused. The time's running away. Amaterasu misses all of his shots, and the spike defusal should be there.
Down to the wire, less than a second left on the clock. Imagine if they held on for just a second longer. This would have been a brilliant start for Velocity. But True Rippers deserved to win this round. The 4 stack on the C side was incredible. It arrived right on time. And the only reason that True Rippers even failed to hold on to the A site, the only reason why the spike was even possible was because Wimp was alone over there. He did not get any backup in time. Even though True Rippers had the read that Velocity were falling back, the moves were not made preemptively. Which is fine in most situations. It's just a one-off case that slow rotation's gonna screw you over. But look at this force spike from Velocity. They've got Spectres and Stingers on board, and they're gonna try to hustle their way through all this utility. Hellfighter kills Techno thinking it was clear, but the long-range fights in the hands of Kaizen ball him down to 5 HP. The retake tries to be mantled on before the spike even gets planted, and this throws Velocity into a tailspin. Oh, they're getting shot from every single direction. Velocity don't know where to fight. They don't know where to hide. A glimmer of hope now that CT entrance is available to try to back with speed, but the spike gets dropped.
One enemy remaining.
Dude's only got 5 HP and he's still able to get away with 3.
I know, right?
Yeah. Disrupt, he's got his hands on the Vandal, but he doesn't really have the HP to back him up. Spectre should be able to seal the deal even if a little glimmer's being spotted. Doma gets unchecked under heaven. Does Disrupt have any clue where Doma is? He's right underneath him, and I think so he does. Drops down, will get the kill as well. And Disrupt barely able to squeeze the round away. That got way too close for comfort. But look at True Rippers fans. They're having a good time, man.
Of course they're gonna be having a good time. After such a chaotic round, which went back and forth, more than any rope in a tug of war would, it would be wise of them to go ahead and cheer their team as they breathe a sigh of relief. What was this round? I mean, first of all, the flank from Techno, a little too fast, but again, not the problem. And Velocity would have actually been able to make it to the B side if they did not get stopped right in there. And it's just so unfortunate that the second guy transporting the spike is the one that dies. If it was Doma who had the spike on his back, even if his teammate died over there, Doma would have been able to plant somewhere else on the map and then maybe isolate the 1v1s.
Damn. 2-0 and a technical timeout? Not a good indication here. We cannot even call it a momentum, considering True Rippers, they just won the first 2 rounds, and the second round was quite scrappy, so I would not say they've got the momentum set up on the map of Haven so far, but let's see. This technical timeout can definitely throw a spanner in the works.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that during the technical timeouts, they're not allowed to communicate with their coach. That's only there in the tactical timeouts. So this little tech timeout, it doesn't really break anyone's momentum. Plus, it's too early in the game to even gather momentum. But True Rippers, they went for a force buy. And now that they lost it, they will have to eco once again. That's the risk you take. It was a calculated risk, but this time it turns out True Rippers are the ones who are better at math.
I mean, at this point, if anyone would come up to me and say that they're better than me at maths, I would just accept it.
Yeah, that's a universal fact. Applies to me as well.
I'm terrible at maths.
I think most of us are.
Probably.
Look at the audience prediction. 92.4% predicting Velocity would win.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure most of them said that it's going to be a 2-0 series.
Way to disappoint so many people at once.
I know, right? Heartbreaker. True Rippers,
Mass
though.
heartbreaker.
I mean, my heart's like already broken like a lot of times, so at this point it's...
Okay, let's not go there.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop messing around. But True Rippers, a quick aggressive way to start things off inside this round. That was a counter push from their side, and at least they're able to get away with the kills. Are you? Way too low for comfort, but even Excali's down only 30 HP. Amaterasu has managed to find his way through the garage area, but that's a quick shot. Amaterasu being put to sleep, and Disrupt goes huge with a 4K.
You can't allow these people to get so many multi-kills, especially in the second, third round. Disrupt already has the Rolling Thunder online. And this is just when Velocity are starting to recover from their economic woes.
These spray downs. And yeah, solid round. True Rippers, 3 rounds on the board for them. And if I'm not wrong,
Right there.
that was sort of a broken by round too. True Rippers, they've got 2 Bulldogs on the board for themselves, but the rest are Vandals and the Phantoms.
Slightly off recon dot, but it's okay. Not that big of a deal. Especially when Kaizen's up close and personal. Oh, and here it goes. The Rolling Thunder is unleashed. Kaizen's stunned up, but so is the rest of Velocity.
Oh my
and they're just
God.
desperately trying to stay alive, but True Rippers continue pushing onwards.
Oh, he got caught!
My ult ready.
Oh. Hellfighter's crosshair was right onto RU, and unfortunately for RU, he ran in a straight line. Should have tried to at least strafe around in the air, bunny hop his way out of that situation, but instead it just kept on running in a straight line. It's completely fine. Who's going to expect you to get spammed like that through the smoke? Still, the man advantage is in the hands of True Rippers, and I'm loving the fact that they're now starting to play really aggressive. They're not letting VLT cook. You remember that strategy, Crips, that classic strategy where VLT take that A main control and they just keep the silence, and they let the silence speak for itself. But this time, if you're going to have opponents playing that aggressive, that's a perfect counter, and we even touched upon
30
it.
seconds left.
Wait. Huh? The turret didn't do anything. Okay then. Do True Rippers know that velocity is this deep inside? The turret is placed over there, but it did not ping at all. And now Wimp hears the plant, and he's like, how did they even get in there?
2 players managed to sneak in. And I think so Wimp sort of does have a little clue of what's going on. His crosser was placed right there.
Vision.
VLT. But I'm just a little worried about this entire lurk. That might just come through soon enough. Both of them are just pushing all the way in the back, making sure they're not going to get spotted. The man on the site gets spotted as well. And finally, Doma peeks out. But that's just the first player being revealed. They don't know the second player's there as well. And now we're down to a 2-on-2 scenario. VLT perfectly played. Kaizen needs to go heroic here to try and pull anything off. Shots missed on the first man, and Disrupt's going to be the one to push up quite deep. He whips the shots on the first one, and VLT will capitalize.
Sheesh. Is that a stroke of luck, or was that like masterfully planned? I'm still confused about what happened to the turrets. I guess that's just Valorant for you. Wimp got super unlucky, and even though he had a slight idea that velocity might have snuck through towards the CT spawn side, he wouldn't have expected 2 players to be there. True Rippers did everything correctly, and yet they got outplayed. Velocity Gaming gotta count their lucky stars. And with this, they've got the economic advantage. True Rippers relegated down to Bulldogs, and Kaizen's playing on just a shorty on his Bladestorm. This time though, Kaizen pushing right out of C-Long. The alarm bot will detect him, but that's completely fine. He's gonna continue pushing through regardless.
Oh,
That's bold, man.
But the player's pushing up from long on the site. Wow, look at the rest of them. VLT. They're just being so patient, playing together. 4 players just stacked right next to each other, and this might just be a surprise for Amaterasu. The man in the close will be spotted out, and the lurk being nullified, being deactivated. Disrupt gives away the Q as well. Now they know that the C site's under hit once again. Kaizen will still peek out the smoke. Not a huge fan of that. His team wasn't even there, but still Kaizen went for some heroic plays. That's what you call an overheat moment. You're supposed to overcome as a player, but unfortunately Kaizen, he just pushes the limit a little bit too much.
Tagged out by the drone. This is very bold of him to try and pull them inside, hoping to buy them some time. And he does. Both of them vulnerable. Aftershock committed as well, and now the backup has arrived. Hellfighter ain't alone anymore. Wimp needs to make a move from Garage, but he can't do it without the help of his teammates.
Enemy remaining.
One has gone through inside, but Hellfighter, he clicks all the heads. Velocity are now starting to gather steam. They're starting to gather momentum.
Yeah. This is going to be an eco round for the opponents now. Probably some sheriffs and cheap guns on the board for them. But Kaizen, this peak was really nice. He shouldn't have overcommitted. He should have waited for his team to push up. And then maybe he should have tried to push through the smoke just to try and cause a little bit of distraction to get some kills. But Kaizen, he just got overheated. He started to feel himself. That's a duelist mentality. And that's why I say, right, a duelist should be duelist no matter what. He should not switch the roles because a duelist mentality can be tough to replace.
I mean, that's a debate for another day. We can talk hours about it. But look at this push out from True Rippers. Last time they pushed out of C main. This time they're pushing A lobby. Velocity get the control of C site for free, and now they will really start to think something is fishy about this. True Rippers are not the kind of team that will give away site without resistance, and that's why they placed Hellfighter all the way towards attacking spawn simply to deal with this backstab.
Enemy marked.
They just circle around each other.
Oh my god! Astral form, knife! Knife! No!
It is ready.
I thought he was gonna knife him, but Hellfighter at the last second went for the check for the back lines. At least he's being nullified for now, but True Rippers, even they themselves are starting to get these picks in the hands. Excali on the site. He's able to find 2. Are you able to sneak away? But
Shadows traveling.
he'll probably need to go for this save. Let's see if he's going to be able to.
If Aryu can keep the gun in his hands, that would be wonderful. His team does need the money. Cool, he survives. Not that bad of a round for True Rippers. They didn't have much to work with, so they took a gamble. They tried to stack A, and now they've figured out that Hellfighter will occasionally lurk towards attacking spawn. So it's better they find it out now in a round which they were supposed to lose anyway, than find out, I don't know, 10 rounds later when the situation's dire. Plus, on top of that, they get a gun saved, they get 2 kills. Not that bad of a round for True Rippers, honestly.
Get out of my way!
Doma dashing up. This time he's in quite close quarters. All the way. Underpass. And True Rippers, they know there's some aggressive presence out there. And considering now they've also gotten rid of that turret in mid, VLT will always have that little bit of second thought in the mind that there might just be flank activated soon enough. VLT, they realize the site's completely empty, so they'll start to push through the site. They get the site control easily in the hand, and True Rippers, they opt out to play on retake.
They know Wimp has a lockdown. Excal is prepared with the shock darts. And the shock darts are not going to be enough. So Excal will probably use his last shot as well.
The fight started to break down. So far, VLT, they've managed to get 2 kills in the hand, but this lockdown is now going to force the players of True Rippers to fall back. No one detained, so that's a good news. But look at VLT, they're now starting to push up. They're really getting thirsty for this blood. But RU catches a man slipping by. And VLT, on the other hand, they know this round is pretty much secured. And True Rippers, they're going to go for a save. A wise decision.
Velocity finally getting the lead once again. And they do it by keeping 4 players alive. That's impressive. And I'm just so happy that Amaterasu used his lockdown in this very round. The round where Techno is already dead. Otherwise, all these Killjoys and Soas, they have this awkward little flirty moment, you know, where they're just waiting for the lockdown to go first, and then the Soa is holding on to the Hunter's Fury simply to destroy the lockdown. It just takes the whole waiting game out of the equation. Amaterasu uses it when Techno is dead, no hope of a Hunter's Fury rebuttal, and he gets to use the lockdown without any repercussions.
Yeah. 3-4 is the score, Crips, and it's still close, but VLT, they've managed to win back-to-back rounds, and this is the momentum that VLT were really looking for. But this tactical timeout can also bring a huge spanner in the works. This can be the momentum breaker if right calls are given away by the coach. On the other hand, VLT's coach is quite quiet, not really saying a lot of stuff, just putting some choice words on the table here.
How did True Rippers respond to this? Every time True Rippers are in an economically unstable situation, they try to go for one of those gamble stacks and they try to push out of one side of the map. But now that their economy is just getting under control, they bring out the big guns on Kaizen. Operator, channeled towards garage. Velocity will do well to avoid this area like the plague. Recon dot's already broken and a control smoke deployed towards A long. This will let Velocity sneak up close. Do they check for disrupt in this corner though? He's kind of playing alone, so he's gonna face them all by himself. Are you serious? He wasn't supposed to get that double. That's just ridiculous. And now he's bought enough time for the rest of his teammates to arrive as well. And pushing out of smokes is always a problem for Velocity. They always lose members while doing this.
Speak about the problem, and it occurs once again in Velocity. That entire Rolling Thunder that they used went to waste. Amaterasu, even he doesn't have the lockdown available because he used it in the previous round. So True Rippers, they've got a huge upper edge inside this one. A man advantage in which you've got RU position this deep in mid. Is he going to be expected? But RU doesn't expect the players in the front. Finally, now he probably will. Unfortunately, the crosser wasn't exactly placed on the right spot. Amaterasu will be able to get away with the kill, but he's still taken down way too low. The operator is now going to be the next one. And Kaizen sitting right on the edge. Wasn't able to catch anyone right there. He's able to safely get away too. VLT, they get the B-side control in the hands, but the post plant's going to be next to impossible in my opinion. Lockdown initiated too. VLT, they soon will be forced back. Flash is good on the point, and that double peek's just going to seal the deal. Kaizen all by himself with a Phantom in hand. Let's see what he's going to be able to pull off.
Now they just need to play for time. There's no
There's a
nano
wraparound.
swarms, so they will have to body check
Enemy
this.
remaining.
No touch.
He gets Amaterasu mid-air. But that allows Eclipse to sneak all the way past from Garage.
Yeah, he started the wraparound as soon as he exited the entire lockdown. Eccles, nicely done. Well read on the opponents, but this position really did catch him off guard. If Disrupt was able to get one more right there,
Down A.
it would have been over. GG.
Remaining. One enemy remaining.
No touch.
It's very impressive how Velocity can recover from losses like these. The round seemed so shaky at start when they started losing double players out of the smokes. A double for Disrupt and then another one with a shot lost. This lack
Spike
of a
down A.
person to break the recon dart allows Kaizen to get back with a free kill. And now Doma also gets tagged up. The Sova utility is such a thorn in the side for Velocity.
The operator shut down, Crips. Kaizen being put to sleep and short. Once again, that overcommitment with the operator thought that maybe he'll probably be able to catch someone off guard while they're trying to back off from this A. Interesting shock dart lineup. A huge fan of that. And I
Placing
think so.
swarm grenade.
B take might just be
Swarm
coming
grenade
soon
out.
enough. Argues position himself in the pocket of C long.
Down.
Wimp on the other hand is going to push up as well from B main to that pocket. So this is quite interesting. And I think so Argue will be checked in this angle. Maybe not going to be the answer. He will be checked, but he catches the players off guard. He continues to spray. And they straight up just walk in and spray Argue with those two monstrous picks. This will give True Rippers another man advantage. How are they going to use this in their favor? In the
30
last two
seconds
rounds,
left.
they have been getting these man advantages, but always they're being dropped away. And Amaterasu is in a position
one.
that is not being expected.
One enemy
Oh, the
remaining.
Hunter's Fury is a bit late.
Oh my god.
This is perfect. Excali just uses that Hunter's Fury as soon as he spots the players. I thought he would have used it a bit sooner as soon as the first one was spotted, but hey man, it works out beautifully. Every single time. This round is a deja vu.
Got one.
Previously it was Disrupt towards A long, getting that double spray down. This time it was Argue. And Velocity find themselves in these 2v3s, 2v4s so often, but they still come out on top.
Interesting. I wonder what they're talking about in this call out. It makes a lot of sense too why this tactical timeout's called out, because these rounds are now really starting to get a little bit too much up close and personal. Because especially those early rounds lead given away to the opponents, the man number is in the hands of True Rippers. That can be converted, but unfortunately the capitalization isn't exactly on the point.
Just gotta remind you lovely folks out there. First of all, you guys the Giga Chats for watching the English stream. You have my heartfelt gratitude for doing the same. But I wouldn't blame you if any of you go towards the Hindi stream as well and show our friends a little bit of love. Not because they need it, but because the Hindi stream has a giveaway going on. You can stand a chance to win Riot Cash worth 1,000 Valorant points every single day if you go there. But then again, what's more important? Pristine entertainment or some skins?
Scanning
I
ahead.
would say the former is much more valuable.
What's this?
Oh, Kaizen. He got the ult orb in the hands. Oh, what a shot! Kaizen! Here Solovish knives on the second one, but that's a whole nother story. But still, that shot from Kaizen. Oh,
Yes,
that was a
yes.
dirty one. And once again, an early man advantage given away to True Rippers.
This has been the stat since the last few rounds. True Rippers always managed to come back from a man deficit. Velocity were the ones who were getting the man advantages in split, but now they're always on the back foot. But Velocity still wins some of these rounds, so it's like the storylines have been flipped. It's
Oh,
like
the
the
classic.
whole theme of this game, regardless of whoever gets the man advantage, is that they will lose even after they get it. It
Grips the
sounds
classic
silly, I
strat.
know, it sounds absurd, but it was happening in
Right
split,
there.
it's happening right now.
The classic be quiet and let the silence take its place strat. They use that. Unfortunately, Disrupt gets spotted in the close quarters, and they actually committed the ultimate.
seconds left.
Even in an eco round, definitely wasn't needed.
enemy
And
remaining.
even the flanks being caught now by Hellfighter. He's gonna expect the second man. Yes, he will. Are you? Hands caught busy. He was trying to pull the gun out. And yeah, VLT, a perfect counter done from them. A lot of good news for True Rippers, considering they also used the Rolling Thunder. They were quite confident in getting that round in the hands, but they shouldn't have done so.
Give me those.
And I said it, right? I said it.
Enemy
Any team that gets the man advantage
One enemy remaining.
somehow. It doesn't follow logic, but that's just been this entire series. In Split, Velocity had way more first bloods than True Rippers, but they still lost. And over here, True Rippers get the man advantage almost every single round, but Velocity pull off the clutches. 2v3s, 2v4s. Nothing seems impossible. Kazan once again with the op. He's been deadly to a day shot up until now. And Velocity would be wise to avoid this area. They head towards the B site after a long time. The only time they've actually gone B is in a mid-round adjustment. They never hit B off their own accord right at the beginning. And they're not even trying to smoke off A-Link and C-Link. They're just trying to make contact plays. They're hoping someone from True Rippers will peek and Velocity will get that pick.
Deploying.
VLT. 3-7's the score, and they have been managing to win these rounds back to back. Something that's definitely hurting them quite a bit. And now once again you do see the similar type of circumstance where VLT, they're just really quiet. They've got the mid control established from all the different sides.
You are divided.
Let's see how they're gonna play this out. It was from the shadows available or used to pretty much as an expensive recon, as you'd like to call it. Information was gathered and now they know it's a C hit coming soon. There's two players on the site just waiting for him to push inside the smoke, and as soon as he does, Aryu will find the kill. But not able to completely capitalize because he got instantly traded out. Kazan, the man's in the back lines, and he's left unchecked. And Eccles get away with a kill.
For the first time in a long time, it seems like Velocity have a sizable lead. The entirety of Split was neck to neck. Max lead that someone was able to get just 3 rounds at a stretch.
Player standing.
But this, oh no, this is a whole different ballgame.
Team
Velocity
ace.
are extending their lead. They're stretching their legs out as far as they can.
Placing sentry.
Last round of the half. Techno still has that massive ultimate. He's been holding on to it since quite some time now. Eccles can respond in kind with the Rolling Thunder, but Kaizen, he can feel the bloodthirst. It's unquenchable. He won't stop until he finds a head, but this time he might just have overextended.
Spike down.
Disrupt can help him. Eccles realizes there's way too much heat coming onto them, so he uses the Rolling Thunder, lets it rip. Hellfighter and Duma pick up a kill. 1 towards C long and 1 towards A short. So now Velocity have a kill on every
Player
part of the map.
standing.
And now they've dealt with Kaizen as well. The man who started it all buried finally 6 feet under.
And now just the last glimmer of hope alive for True Rippers. What can he do? True Rippers, they're really starting to get ahead of themselves, and this might just be a 9-3 half. And it probably will be. I mean, Disrupt's the last man alive, and look at the amount of respect Velocity Gaming are showing to him. They're still holding the back lines, hoping that Disrupt will probably push up, but no is going to be the answer. Instead, Disrupt is going to opt out for the disciplined way. Moving towards the B side soon enough. He's going to meet the players in the front. Peeks out once and will be capitalized and decapitated. It's a 9-3 half. There are going to be quite a lot of superstitious people who might say there's a comeback possible. But once again, it's all down to the future.
Yeah, but given True Ripper's performance in Split, I would say that a comeback isn't completely out of the table. It's still there. It's still on the cards. And if you believe in it hard enough, and if you believe in True Rippers hard enough, we might just see a very close game.
We might. There's a huge might there. But ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, after the first half, it's our time to push to a short break. We'll be right back.
Came for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beat, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20N line. It's time to play.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back once again to the second half of the decider map of this entire series between Velocity Gaming and True Rippers. The split map was quite close in the first half. Now Velocity Gaming, they have started to run away with the lead, but it's a 9-3 scoreline. The curse might just come true.
I don't know, man. Velocity won so many rounds in a row. True Rippers started off in a dominant fashion, leading 3-0, and then Velocity did not relinquish a single round to them. What is that shock dart?
Yeah, I know, right?
I think it was supposed to land on the bottom of B to break any possible killjoy utility, but it landed on top. So it's fine, I guess, because True Rippers still get the plant.
Oh, 3 players approaching, but he still managed to get one. Look at the bright side. At least he was able to get his trade. True Rippers, they've got 3 players all the way towards Link. That's a good shock dart to try and stall the push for at least a little bit more. Argue on the site will try to get some picks of himself. He's in the close quarter. He does manage to find one. That crossfire is perfect onto True Rippers. And this round is really desperately needed for Velocity. But no is going to be the answer. True Rippers, this is their lifeline, and they grab it in their hands.
Really fast take towards the B side from True Rippers. And this is such a stark difference in between these two teams. True Rippers use the B side right off the bat, create an opening instantly. Meanwhile, Velocity never really went towards the B side in most of their half. They were hitting A and C repeatedly, and the only time they would actually use B was towards the mid round, where there would be like some 30-something seconds left on the clock. They never tried to go for an outright B hit right off the bat, and True Rippers do exactly that. And as a result, Velocity are now stacking the B side. A and C are left completely empty. There's a turret marking the C and garage entrance, so in case True Rippers head down that region, the turret will ping. But the A side's vacant.
I mean, already True Rippers, they've shown a drastic improvement in their performance when the last time we saw them face against VLT. But this performance needs to be carried on forward into the second half. They've got the superior weaponry on the board. And the funny part is everyone instantly, or at least the most amount of players from True Rippers, have invested into those Vandals and Phantoms, while the rest two went for a Spectre and a Bulldog. VLT, they don't even have the utilities to try and stop this push. Smoke's on the board. They're going to try to push in with a well-lit unit, and that's what they exactly try to bring on the table. There was one pick being found for True Rippers. They're just going to start to line them up.
True Rippers continue the momentum. They don't lose too many guns in the process, and that's good. This sets them up for a nice bonus round.
Look at this meat grinder, man. This crossfire was there, but Doma was able to get away with only one. But it's completely fine. That anti-eco is successful, and now Velocity Gaming will start to sweat a bit. 5-9 is the score. The cushion that they had's been taken away.
Alright, let's see if the Velocity can grow this cushion back. They can't hold on to it for too long. They can't take too many blows. And even though True Rippers had a bonus round of sorts, they got surprisingly high amount of weapons. 2 Vandals, Phantom, and the rest of them on the SMGs. Velocity, on the other hand, they are trying their level best to figure out where True Rippers will be, but look at the spread out. The drone and the spike are heading towards C site, but Kaizen tried to sell a fake to it. The question is, do Velocity buy it?
Good question. Something even I'm wondering. Aryu was caught. Tekna with only a stinger in the hand, and now they're starting to get their grip on the C side. Shots missed, and Wimp will capitalize. Amaterasu. Those shots missed is now really going to start to hurt them in the future lines, as it was crossfire, but unfortunately the hands were busy, and Doma with that spray transfer will get them both.
Sheesh, it takes nerves of steel to push out of the smoke like that. And he only heard the footstep of one person, so he thought, yeah, the other guy's gonna be on the other side of the box. he won't be able to trade me, so the call out was proper. But then he got surprised as soon as he saw the killjoy over there as well. A little panic stepped in, but he straight transferred perfectly.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, look at this spray transfer, man.
Yeah, so
But
clean.
yeah, the main reason why he was even able to stay alive for that long is because Wimp was just caught off guard. He didn't even have the guns in his hands. If he did, Doma wouldn't have been alive, but it worked out. True Rippers now establishing that A main control quite early off. They've managed to crawl quite deep in. Excali's holding the close quarters too.
Aftershock to clear out close. Right there. Quite a lot of noise. This gives Velocity enough time to react, but even after that, they can't stand the assault. Eccles in the
Spike
smoke
down A.
tries to claw back at whatever was lost, and Doma.
Ooh.
What? That was nutty. That's impossible. That is not real. This man's in the Matrix. He's hitting shots that even Keanu Reeves can't.
Spike planted.
Tap on the head, man. And Doma's feeling himself. You would not want to challenge, or you would not want to give away those individual duels against this man. Do they have any clue that the flank's now activated too? Oh, the alarm bot triggered. Now they know there's a man pushing up through the short. Wimp's gonna keep his crosshairs trained towards that. Blade Storm popped out as well. The turret goes off. VLT, they're starting to get desperate as the time's ticking by, and Wimp capitalizes. And the wings being clipped away of Doma.
Doma, he definitely has those wings, and he's using them to soar above. Maybe even use them to smack some people down. I want to see a replay. Mr. Production, please. Please, for the love of God, show me that clip. What on earth? I mean, he hit the first shot, and then in the process of dashing back, he got the second. Oh, absurd, dude. Unreal,
Crips.
literally.
Production doesn't listen to us. They don't care about us.
Oh,
The English
God
does.
damn it.
It's the truth.
At least I have you, buddy.
Yeah, man. We got each other. But anyways. BLT. Excali and Hellfighter pushing up quite close towards main, while the rest two are on the underpass, or as you'd like to call it, the A short area. And there's a 4-man stack of VLT. They're just waiting for the players of True Rippers to try and step in. On the other hand, True Rippers, this is a good scouting drone. We'll spot out 2 players towards long, so at least they know it's a trap being set from their side. And VLT, every single player now is starting to get sniffed out. Seaside should be easily takeable, and that's what they're trying to opt out for. Shots being missed, but Wimp will capitalize.
Marthros is so brave to repeat again. But True Rippers have a massive amount of area under their control. And
Spike
the
planted.
crossfire over here between CT and Garage, it's lethal. Add to that the fault line, and it becomes nearly impossible to fight back.
Oh my god, this 9-3 curse, huh? Really starting to get activated now, Crips. And I'm a little worried for VLT. This is their buy round. Let's see how it's going to pan out for them. Hellfighter's got the Cosmic Divide available. So there's a high chance it might just be used for the better. But True Rippers, this grinder.
I mean, at this point, it's not just a grinding machine. It's a furnace. You step into it and you'll be melted. Doma can't use his AWP effectively. Stand out of position. Aryu commits. At least the aftershock tells you that they're aware about his position. So now they will vacate the site. They don't want to get crunched.
Takes the heaven control and then even teleports back on the site. What a way to get the site control in the hand. Hunter's Fury not going to exactly find the mark. Rolling Thunder being used as well. The players on the defending side are now going to be stunned at least for a while. Look at Kaizen, he's pushed up quite deep. There's 3 players approaching him and Kaizen needs to jump out. And he does at the nick of time. At least he's looking quite healthy. VLT, still all the 5 players looking to burst through at the same time. And this might just be a disaster waiting to crumble down. VLT, if they execute it right though, things can definitely start to pan out quite well for them. And as I said, it's a disaster in making, and that's what happens. True Rippers.
They're really taking they're taking the Ripper in their name a bit too seriously, huh? They've got these chainsaw blades equipped on them. On the
He just
edges
stole
of
the
the
chips
A site.
packet.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, there was a viewer, or the person who's sitting in the venue eating chips, and the guy next to him just took it in his hands. Just took it away.
Hey, I wouldn't blame them. You know, this match, it's probably going to make people run out of their popcorn so soon that you're going to start stealing other people's snacks too.
It's an entertaining series.
It is an entertaining series, so you got to keep those snacks equipped. You got to keep them handy. Luckily, this tactical timeout gives you 20 seconds to quickly run to the fridge and grab yourself a drink. But if you want, you could also run to the Hindi stream where we are having a nice giveaway of 1,000 Valorant points. If you want those things, that is. For the Giga Chads who care only about the entertainment and high-octane gameplay, stick around.
8-10 is the scoreline, man. And VLT, they're really now starting to put a lot of pressure. Even the coach, he seems a little worried considering this 9-3 curse is now starting to fall true. But jokes apart, True Rippers, they're playing this really phenomenally well. This is a classic strategy that True Rippers use, right? Are you just teleporting on top of the heaven, then the rest of the team starts to follow up. A classic one-on-one strat, but still VLT, they fell prey to that.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't do much to deny the teleport. It's not like anyone was present in heaven. If there was, then the teleport would be forced to be cancelled. Oh, but look at this staff. They'll also be prepared for the C hit. And they get revealed, which kind of tells True Rippers to back away from here. A disaster avoided, trap sidestepped, and now a race to the A side begins. Can Velocity get there before True Rippers enter?
Highly doubt. They've already pushed up quite deep. The Sheriffs are now going to start a rink. Maybe Domo was able to get away with one, but that's all he's going to find. Of course, the enemy have the superior weaponry, so it's tough to out-aim them in the battle. But still, it's a 2-on-3. It's definitely doable. Even a lockdown's available. Are they going to try to invest that lockdown? That's my question. And probably no. With only a Sheriff in the hand, and they'll need to play a little safe. A good peek from Wimp. Well, it will be able to capitalize on the one, and the second one falls apart too.
Now you can really start to see the beads of sweat forming on the foreheads of Velocity Gaming. How do they even deal with this? True Rippers are gaining the advantage simply on the basis of utility. They're always a step ahead of Velocity Gaming.
Ooh.
And it's quite uncharacteristic of Velocity to be red like this. Velocity usually were unpredictable, but maybe their moves are getting stale.
Yeah.
Maybe True Rippers are the ones who have done their homework really well.
Probably have. And as we talked about this entire 5-man lineup switch-up coming through, right? And this is now really starting to flip against VLT. They're not really able to play to their fullest potential. This 5-man lineup that they've got, I mean, Amaterasu is definitely there, but still, with the way they used to play with Deathmaker inside the squad, as you said, the firepower is something you really do need. And True Rippers are taking the exact advantage of that fact.
Hey, even if you have the firepower, can you break open these crossfires? They're not out of the ordinary. These are standard crossfires. One in Hell, one on Graffiti. That's as standard as it gets. But still, it seems so potent. Velocity just simply don't have the utility supremacy to break these open, to crack them open like a walnut. Maybe their ultimates will help them do so.
Yeah,
Lockdown
exactly.
available on either side, and Eccles with the Rolling Thunder. He needs to make these moves.
That's what I was about to say. They've got 2 ultimates that can help them establish this retake if possible. Domo is quite aggressive outside garage. Didn't spot out anyone, so he'll fall back. He doesn't need to overextend at all. Look at Argue, just teleporting on top of the site. Might just catch someone off guard. Running and gunning all the way to the back lines. He's managed to find a lot of impact so far. All the way, all by himself on the C site. And True Rippers, the amount of control they've managed to get is quite impressive. Kaysen might just be able to get the skill, but he gets away. That was way too close for comfort.
Velocity have no clue that the B side is being attacked now. They're leaving it on the back of a alarm bot. Amatras is marking the angle. He's sharp. Stops them in their tracks. A much needed frag. A fault line in the hands of Disrupt, and he will get stunned out. But Velocity still can't peek out. They challenge towards a lane, and he whips them all away. Eccles now out of desperation lets the Rolling Thunder loose. It pushes True Rippers towards the A site. where they really wanted to go. So this Rolling Thunder actually gets no value
Spike
out.
planted.
Kaizen was so low. He's only got 11 HP, but he still managed to get those 2 kills. Honestly impressive. Look at this crossfire they've got set up all the way back in the spawn, and Hellfighter will be caught off guard. Eccles only's got 3 HP. This clutch sounds next to impossible, but if Kaizen can get 2 kills with only 11 HP, then this clutch is definitely possible. Eccles can't make it happen. Why not?
No
but
way.
Kaizen, this man gets a 4K. How is this even possible?
The storylines are going buck wild. Who would have imagined that out of all the teams in VCSA, it would be True Rippers to bring Velocity down to their knees? Hell, it's not just them down on their knees, they are on the chopping block. The guillotine is on its way down, and there's nothing that can stop it. Unless Velocity
going on?
reinvent themselves by an extreme margin, True Rippers seem destined to win this game.
This is Batman versus Superman.
Huh?
Where Batman says, "Tell me, do you bleed?" And in this scenario, Batman is True Rippers.
Yeah.
And he's making the gods bleed. The giants are crumbling down.
He doesn't even need to pop the question, he knows.
Yeah.
True Rippers bring the kryptonite in, and Velocity Gaming are crumbling. Sheriffs in hands. We know Velocity are sharp, but are they sharp enough to break the blades of these Rippers? Quite a passive run from Velocity, you know? I thought that maybe since they're on an eco, they would actually try something buck wild like True Rippers often do. And True Rippers taking a risk by heading the B side. Only C-Link smoked, A-Link still open.
God.
It kind of indicates that they want to pick up the fights over here, and so far True Rippers are winning every single fight.
Yeah.
Hellfighter spams across onto Kaizen, and that's just a consolation kill. It doesn't really create all
planted.
that many opportunities.
To be honest, the trade game and the team game just seems way better. But VLT, they strike back. A 2-on-2 scenario. The Sheriff starts to ring. And they're managing to find those headshots. Toma all by himself with the Sheriff in the hand. This man is incredible. He's feeling himself. Definitely not a man you want to underestimate. Uses the Cloud Burst, but will be capitalized from main.
From 9-3 to 11-10. It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. The comeback is real. Velocity Gaming, one more buy. They're surviving on max loss bonus at this point. They can't afford to stay in this economic hell for too long, because then they'll be trapped in the cycle, the vicious cycle of ecoing and buying again and again. Meanwhile, True Rippers, their economy is flourishing. It's not just the round lead that they have, but look at the amount of money available. They've got money probably till the end of the match. And they still have the lockdown. 2 rounds and none of the teams have used it. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the round. Utility barrages into the C-side. The paranoia and the recon dot. Hellfighter brave enough to stick and hoping to defend will fall to his knees.
Kaizen, no.
You should run. Spike planted.
Don't overextend, please. Just stay in that smoke. Hunter's View reused to try and clear out some basic angles. No tags being found, so at least that's a good news for them. Was able to find at least 1 tack there, okay. But the lockdown is not going to be there. And it finds 2 players. Just managing to delay a little bit more, buying more time in VLT. Time slipping by from their hands. It's ticking away. And VLT, they're going to be desperate soon enough. The lockdown's initiated, but they start to fall prey to True Rippers. The flashes are there on the point, but the picks are in a 3-on-2 scenario. And True Rippers, they start to pick them apart. And once again, another round of the board and a map point.
Techno with the heroics, man. He disrespects the lockdown, dives straight into the enemy territory, and he gets all the crucial frags. He gets detained in the end, but it is possible. He does not care about the repercussions. He doesn't care about the consequences. He doesn't think twice about his own life. He is focused in, laser onto the goal, and right now the goal is Velocity's head. Off with the crowns, down with the kings. A new supremacy will be established today.
God.
7-round win streak for True Rippers, and this might just be it. It's either overtime or bust. Velocity have to hit them with everything they've got, and Amaterasu stops things off. Timing caught, but Techno softens him up with the shock dart, rocks his body down with the Phantom. 4v4. This is the best man advantage that Velocity have had in a very long time, but can they convert this? That's the burning question of the hour.
Burning question indeed. Cosmic Divide's gonna expire. At least it bought off a little bit more time. Crips, my hands are shaking. This is way too nervous, man. A nervous moment indeed. Velocity. Are we gonna see them lose out for the first time, and that too the place where they did not need to lose in the playoffs? They will be pushed all the way down to the lower brackets, and True Rippers will write a history in South Asian region.
Timing.
I take them
Oh, exactly. Gets the timing. Will also get the kill on the player, but the site's lost. They know Hellfighter's on short. And site being taken away. Now it's all going to come down to this post plant, and Aryu is able to find the trade. Now it's a 3-on-3 scenario. Hellfighter's position compromised. And True Rippers, they're pushing the boundaries where they don't really need to. The overcommitment's not going to work out in their favor, but Eccles will at least able to get one, and this crossfire's perfect! And True Rippers, they win it against VLT!
There's a new contender for the throne, ladies and gentlemen. The reign of Velocity Gaming has come to an end at the hands of True Rippers. Disrupt, ignited, Delhi elated, and Velocity Gaming decimated. Who would have thought that this would be the outcome of today's game?
I am surprised. My hands are literally shaking right now. I mean, we knew True Rippers is one of those underdog teams, but how did they win this? Oh, VLT, this is a huge heartbreaker for them. And considering it was a debut series for Amaterasu, oh, this is just gonna raise a lot of questions now. Oh boy. A massive W in the playoffs, in the upper bracket semifinals, where True Rippers, they move up forward. The amount of hard work they have done, it pays off. And they're so happy.
The joy knows no bounds. True Rippers, really the most unlikely contenders. One would have expected that maybe Orangutan can beat Velocity, but nobody would have expected. 92% of the viewers expected Velocity to win, and a massive upset. This match, it will be talked about for the next month to come, maybe even the whole next year.
I just wanna load up Twitter. Where's my Twitter, man? Let me load it up. You know what, guys? We're gonna push to a short break. I'm gonna load up my Twitter.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late. being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track